Boop, boop. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, everybody. I hope you have all had a lovely fortnight because we have been away for 2 weeks. That's what a fortnight is. So I was like, not everybody knows what a fortnight is. We've been away, but we're not anymore. I hope you guys have been well. Docs, what happened to your white void room?
I've been let out.
Finally has escaped.
Finally escaped the endless nothingness.
Docs, you might actually be louder than everyone else.
Yeah, he's actually loud today.
Which is good. No, it's good.
No, it's not a bad thing.
No, you don't. No, please don't whisper. No, you don't need to whisper.
Let's not get us banned from TOS because it's too sexy.
Sorry.
Thank you for the bits.
With the audio, could you please let us know ASAP?
Yes, please.
For the levels and stuff.
If I'm too loud.
We'll do a quick.
The Twitch view, and now I can't see the chat, and it's like weird and stacked on itself, and I don't know what happened.
Oh, no.
Tom is quiet.
Jenny loud. Okay. Is Jenny better now, or is Jenny still too loud?
Is Jenny better now?
KT is also quiet. Okay, so maybe Docs needs to turn himself down a little bit.
I'd probably just need to turn my gain up.
Okay, well that. Subscribe to my OnlyFans if you want more of my voice.
How's that? Is that better?
Is that better? Everyone say, is that better?
Is that better?
Is that better?
Is that better?
Is it better?
Is it better? Am I louder?
Better?
I don't want to be louder.
Are we okay? Everything fine?
I just can't see chat.
Oh no.
I don't know why.
They never say anything good, it's fine.
We still seem like we are talking from far away.
Oh, it's probably because I'm leaning so far away too, because Grace is in my lap here.
I can hear you.
You need to
okay?
get down, honey.
I can hear you, okay. It's probably just that the desktop audio thingy is a bit out of whack because Docs is loud.
Maybe.
This is new. What a new and exciting world we're going into. It's one where Docs is loud for some reason.
He's not going to get away with all of the like under the breath comments anymore.
I didn't think this through.
How about now? Is Katie better now that she's a bit closer? I don't like that we have to do this every time because the audio can't be the same forever. But still.
I think
I'm still louder.
Comparatively louder than everyone else. Well, that's not something to complain about.
It is. Okay. Okay, I've turned everyone else up. Say something.
Something.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Is that better? Thank you, Katie. 23 months. Holy fucking shit.
Holy shit.
Wonderful.
Oh no. Uno more month though.
Tom is much better.
Tom is better.
Excellent.
Okay.
I didn't do anything, so that's good news. Is Katie not then? Does Katie need to do some more testing voice lines?
Some more what?
I'll do. Okay.
Katie needs to say something. So I thought that you were asking them if what I had already said was at the appropriate level, and so I was like watching chat and waiting.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, we're good. Okay.
Okay.
So let us reminisce. Cast our minds back to a time long forgotten. 2 weeks ago when we last played Dungeons and Dragons. What happened was we woke up our party with brand new friends. Gary Asariel and the Purple Dragon Knights, who you're now kin with. And we got back on the road.
On the road again.
We got over to Egbert, where the circus is. And we had a wonderful session of just fucking around at the circus and meeting people that Oro knows from her past life, like Popo the Dexterous, the unicyclist, College Jasper, the Swallower of Swords, Honest Ket, the Stiltwalker, the amazing Ariandia, who is an acrobatic person with acrobatic skills. And Salvor the Incredible, and also Kenneth.
Also, okay.
Yeah, that was a thingy.
Time will tell.
And we had lots of fun with some of the different activities. We did look into perhaps buying some merchandise. We got a little Oro bookmark. Was that what we got? Oro bookmark?
Yeah, because the one guy got mad at us.
Yeah.
Randall got an Oro
Yeah.
bookmark.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys wanted to buy a Francois wand,
Mm-hmm.
but you couldn't because behind the thingy
Counter.
counter, starting strong, Tom, keep
Spell.
it up. Was Colin Jasper, who was he's the kind of guy who's convinced that he's the best and that he should be, number one. And is quite annoyed about Oro being considered the best act. So he was a bit of a dick, and wanted to charge you full price for the wand. And Oro was like, no. We're gonna talk to the manager, and you're gonna go talk to Hilda.
Don't put it like that. Shit.
Oro's a Karen.
No.
No, he was being a Karen.
Was he?
Probably.
I mean, he was just being an arsehole.
Yeah. Well,
We
that's
can just say that. And then you also went off and you did some arm wrestling, which Randall lost. You did the you had the slingshot. You were doing some dexterity shooting practice,
Lost.
which everybody lost apart from Oro, who with just the luck of some amazing entities, including those in chat, and just tons of lucky feats and stuff, managed to succeed and skill.
Yes.
Let me take away the skill. There were some good rolls there as well.
Mhm,
Managed to win a prize that was not really meant to be won
mhm.
from the Herr Browning's Humble Circus, from a very German gentleman whose accent was flawless.
Yes.
That's what I remember about
we all
it.
agree. Yeah, we all agree on that.
Flawless.
D6 to Tom. Oh, thanks, Evan.
God damn it.
So what we got? We got a D6 for Oro as well.
Yes. Think it will do.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So you had some fun with some of the activities. Then you decided at the end of the game, we said you're gonna, have a bit more of a browse. Then head to the back of the circus where the housing is, chill out for a little bit, and then in the evening you're gonna have a meal with Hilda, as you have been invited. Okay.
Sick.
Oh yes, you also met a little bit about the Circus of Wonders, and the comparison between the other circuses was that Circus of Wonders seemed a bit more like a general entertainment, sort of like lots of food, quite wacky, and the Circus of Wonders was very dark and mysterious and edgy, and it was a lot less popular because of this theme it had.
Wasn't it also all the kenkus in the roof?
Yes, Circus of Wonders had a lot of kenkus.
might have been less that people were uninterested in the edge and more that they were uninterested in walking in Kenku poop.
Or being
True.
pooped on.
Mm-hmm.
Not a solid
Okay.
business model, but
That's included in the ticket is when you buy a ticket to the Circus of Wonders.
Dry
you also
cleaning.
you get some wet wipes.
Oh.
I just have one of those hurricane machines that they have at like theme parks on the way out. You just stand there.
Oh
Or
God.
just the poop just gets like flung off
Yep.
you.
Ew.
Right. Okay. So you found there's been a tent that's been put aside for you. It's not grand, but it's functional. You are in the midst of a bunch of other tents, but you can see that the back of the circus area is rammed with tents. Obviously, you've got 3 circuses in one area. Lots of the different tents, the kind of logos that you find on them, as well as the materials, the smells you get coming from all the different pots that are making food. It's all very overwhelming because it's not very organized. What Oro will remember from her, years and years spent here, is that they tended to kind of have this big wide area that was spacious enough for everyone to have their own kind of tent and essentially, space around it that wasn't impeded on by other people, so that when other circuses come to kind of get involved, they don't have their own area. What they do is they fill up the spaces. So because you've got 3 circuses filling up the same space, what you have is a lot of tents that are quite close together, a lot of people that are mixing, which is really nice to see, but also not a huge amount of space for everybody. And since you guys are guests who haven't brought your own stuff, you've kind of just been thrown in whatever tent can be found for you. It's kind of small and cramped, but there's enough space just for you guys to sleep. You've absolutely lost Chidarion, and there is just enough space for Nugget to sleep pretty much on the floor, but it will take up the entirety of the floor space. But you kind of you spread out a bit. You put your stuff down. You relax. You have a few moments to yourself. You've got maybe half an hour or so before you've agreed to go and have dinner with Hilda. Is there anything you guys want to do? Anything you want to talk about?
First, Fuel gave the last D6 bonus to Nirali, resident Kaboom artist.
Thank you. I don't plan on any kabooms today, but we'll see where the evening takes us.
Did you plan on the other ones?
Well, no. Not the first time.
Not the first time. Okay. Is there anything your characters want to do?
I'm gonna continue knitting the sweater for parsnip.
How close to done with that, you think?
I guess that's up to you. How quickly do you think I could work?
Don't ask me. I don't know anything about knitting.
I only know how to crochet, so I feel like knitting is supposedly supposed to go faster, but I always thought it was difficult, so I didn't learn it. Well, I tried to. It didn't stick. So probably like halfway done.
Okay.
Like the amount of time
I
that
mean,
I worked on it.
Was
He's a
this
big
for
dog and-
turnip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's for a dog. It's not,
Yeah. It's not super intricate, but it's still knitting. Like,
Yeah.
it still takes a while.
All right. Well, I mean, it depends, I suppose, on how much time you're getting to put aside each day and
Exactly.
how competent you are and that kind of stuff. All right. Well, if you say you're halfway through, yeah, okay.
Mhm.
How about everybody else? Do you have any questions for Oro about the circus or Hilda or? Resounding silence.
Nope.
Actually, yeah. After the like, we determined obviously false display in the bone reading because
Yes.
they were, and it was Oro that was like, they're probably toning it down because this is her thing and it's her birthday, right?
Mhm.
And then she told me that. So as we're sitting there, kind of just like knitting in the corner, I'm like, so what does she do? Does
Hilda?
she like read the future?
She does loads of things. Anything you want Hilda to do, she'll do it right away. She's a magician. You don't understand. She's incredible. She's the best person I've ever met.
So are you asking generally what she does as a whole or for her performance?
For the performance.
Okay.
Sorry, I should have been more specific.
So Ora will know that for her performance, she will mix it up depending on whatever she kind of fancies. She often does kind of, because she's into divination, she will sometimes do those kind of answering questions from people in the crowd. But her kind of divination isn't the kind that the crowd might expect, which is, I want to know if XYZ who died 30 years ago did this, or that kind of stuff. And then suddenly they'll call forth the dead and speak to their souls or whatever. It's not that kind of thing. Although that might be what the crowd expects. Actually, what Hilda does is she is very secretive with her kind of what she does for her divination. But somehow she predicts the answers to the questions that people will ask today the night before. So she will this is from Oro's knowledge. So this is what I'm saying to not Oro. Oro can decide whether to divulge any of this forward. but essentially that she is super mysterious. You don't know what kind of spellcaster she is, how she does any of her stuff, but because you have a close relationship with her and you have probably sat in with her doing this a couple of times, that she will do. So her big performance is, she'll answer questions and, she'll say stuff like, oh, you've got this in your pocket, blah, 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 blah. She'll just do some kind of divination, kind of whatever. Except she's done all of the predictions the night before, doing various kind of divination techniques, reading cards, pulling bones, reading tea leaves, that kind of thing. And she does it all the night before, not on the stage at the time. So that's kind of her thing, is that she's not like, it's clearer that she's not just like riffing off the crowd. It's because she's done it all before. So right. That's what Oro knows.
Right. Okay. Well then, after Nearly asks, I'll say, I don't know too much about like exactly how she does it, obviously, because she's like magic lady, but she like knows everything the night before, and then she's like ready for the day. She's like ready for her performance. She already knows everything. I don't know how she does it. I don't know. She's real in tune with something. I don't know. She's very spiritual, very spiritual, very good. Too good.
Don't you know what your performance is going to be the night before?
Well, I mean, only because I've been practicing it for like years. She like answers questions about stuff. No, she just like knows what's like in people's pockets and like weird shit, How do you know that? I don't know what's in your pockets, and we've been hanging out for weeks.
I don't have any pockets.
Yeah, I don't know where you put your stuff. I've never asked, actually.
Well, here's an opportunity for us all to get to know each other better. In my pocket.
Do you know in these dungaree pockets I can fit a whole iPad?
What?
Nice.
It's insane. I fit my notebook in the other day, and my mum was like, "Could you fit that iPad in there?" And I was like, "I'll find out." And I could put a whole fucking iPad in the side of my dungarees. And I was like, "This is incredible."
I got the tights that you can get from online that they always advertise that have like the pockets in them, and I can fit like a whole, not like a water bottle, like a plastic one that you would throw away, like a reusable ones that are like thicker because they have like the double panes. I can fit a whole water bottle in it because it stretches out so far.
It's incredible.
So I go on a walk, I just have this like water bottle hanging off of me. It's great.
Jenny says she looks like a corpse, and I realise that I'm like...
yeah, the sun has suddenly changed on your cam. It wasn't like that at the beginning.
Sorry, Randall.
I don't have any cool pocket stories, I'm afraid.
Next week, if you could please.
I'm going to have to just start trying to put things in my pockets.
Does Randall have anything good about his pockets?
Randall doesn't have any pockets.
Oh, shit.
Where does he keep all of his things that he needs right away?
Well, he doesn't have very many things to keep. And he's got like a satchel, and it's like a little leather pouch, and that's where he keeps like his book and like his pens and his ink and stuff. Oh. And then he's got another satchel which just has like his other bits and pieces on it.
Okay. Well, Oro now has massive pockets.
Like Animal
Crossing. It's just normal sized pockets.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, just normal to everyone else. But I'm like, look at these huge pockets. Well, his doctor's background different now. He got let out of the room he was always in.
Magic.
Let out of the room.
It's actually one of those Zoom backgrounds. He's just
I actually have a green screen.
Oh, I keep meaning to try that just to see how bad it would be in my room. It'd probably be terrible.
I love
There's
the
a
idea
lot
that
going on your camera.
Yes, there's a lot.
I love the idea that you would get a green screen and then what you would put behind you is like half of a white wall and some cabinets.
No one would suspect anything.
So
Yeah,
mysterious.
it's true.
It'll just slowly get like more weird.
I like there's someone I follow on Twitter who has been doing this for their like work meetings and stuff. Is that they've taken a picture of behind them when it's clean,
That's
and then
I
they'll
like
use
that.
as their background.
I would do that.
I think that's clever. That's clever.
There's a reason why the mirror behind me is covered up. It is because there's a lot of crap on the floor.
That's what that is. My mind immediately was like, I wonder why there's a double bass case in the background. Like, that's a thing people just have lying around the house. That's what my brain immediately was like. Clearly, that's what this is. It's just obvious. Anyway,
Yep.
so just kind of like nod and shrug a little bit and say, how do people know that she's not doing it right then? Did she like write it down?
No. I was like, shit, I have to decide this. No, she just remembers everything. She just knows.
Yeah.
Or is putting on more makeup for some reason. You don't know why she's putting on more makeup.
Choose to roleplay this. Is she you decide this for me now, Jenny. Is having dinner with Hilda something that you dress up for?
Probably wouldn't normally, but on this occasion, yes.
Okay, good call. I like that call. Okay, so maybe Oro is dressing up a bit.
Yeah, she is putting on makeup and blush for reasons.
For completely normal reasons in game.
Yes.
So you guys can see that Oro is, she's preparing. She's
Yeah.
just trying to make herself, a bit more presentable than the blood that she's got on herself usually. You guys making any effort?
Yeah, the circus colors are a blue and gold, right? What are your circus
Yes.
colors? You said
Yes.
it last time. You had colors for all of them? Let me see if I wrote it down.
Yes.
It is
Yes.
now.
I definitely wrote them down. No, I definitely said them, but I didn't write them down.
Circus of Columba, Circus of Wonders, Herr Browning's Humble Circus. But I didn't write what colors you said. Maybe, I feel like...
you know what I think I did? You know what I think I tried to do anyway, was to match the colors of the Circus of Columba to the Twitch thing that Jenny's done.
I do remember there being like
Oh.
oranges too.
Blue,
Yeah.
yellow, and gold is Circus of Columba, which is Aura Circus, is what I've written down.
Oh, blue, yellow, and gold. All right.
Wow.
I didn't write the other ones down, apparently. But I assume Herr Browning's is brown. Because
Browning's one was a lot more was more whimsical, and the Circus of Wonders was darker colors. I remember that.
Yeah. So I want to, IKEA confirmed, I want to change my glamored dress to match the color scheme. And it'll just be like a simple like ombre from like the lightest tone yellow down to like the dark blue.
Nikki? How about Randall?
Randall like sees everyone else getting ready. It's like straightens his robes up a little bit. It's like
Nugget is baffled by makeup. This is the first time Nugget's really seen you putting anything on, and it's just like up in your face, like
Put some on Nugget. On his cheeks.
he like snorts.
I know. He's allergic.
Prestidigitation, the brush cleans so you don't put bat snot on your face.
that's how people get diseases.
No.
You're...
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right.
Those emotes exactly. Adam. Wow.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
no.
Oh Jesus. All right. Okay. Right. So Oro's, we'll say now, finished with preparing. We've now had
Looks like it.
Nearly has changed the colours that she's wearing, and Randall has shifted his robe slightly.
It's just smooth out a little bit. Like,
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So obviously, Oro knows exactly where to go, and the path that she would usually take is unfortunately filled with other tents, but she manages to navigate through the maze that is now this kind of back portion of the circus to one of the larger, but on the outside, more modest tents. Some of them are a bit more extravagant. It looks like they've tried really hard to paint certain things on the side that have not always come out perfectly well. For example, we've got, what's his name, Colin Jasper has clearly paid someone to have this amazing piece of work done where it's just him like feeding a sword down his throat or whatever, and it's very over the top. But you arrive at Hilda's tent, and Hilda's tent is just kind of a plain red with kind of some simple bunting around the corners. But as you take a step in, you realize it is somewhat larger on the inside than it looks on the outside. It's not colossal, it's not huge, but it is a little bit more impressive on the inside than it is on the outside. There is a modest table that will seat each and every one of you, but at this table you can see that there is plenty to drink already. It looks like there have been some glasses of wine poured. The floor at least has some carpeting, which is something that the majority of these tents don't tend to have. And the bed is kind of put behind a screen, and there are lots of kind of like vanity mirrors and wardrobes and stuff around. It looks like she likes to take care of her appearance. But as you see her, you see that she is in these very cozy looking robes. She's got many layers on. You can see that she has a long kind of pashmina that she's wearing around that goes down, kind of hangs quite low around her neck. And she just kind of shuffles out. You see her as what appears to be, she's a human, but she is very short as a human. She is short enough to still be taller than Oro, but as humans come, you have to do like an internal check just to see, is she? No, she's human. She's just very short. And she shuffles out behind one of the curtains in the room, and she goes, "Oro, my sweet child!" And she shuffles across the room. It's a very quick shuffle, but she comes over with her arms out, and you can see these long sleeves of her robes. And she comes over and she just envelops Oro. Just shuffles over and she's gone. You can't see Oro anymore. She's just been completely.
You can hear a muffled voice.
And she just like, from you guys, from your point of view, it's quite funny because I mean this woman is like, how tall is Oro? Like, did you say 3 foot?
It's 3.5 foot, I think.
3.5. She's then Hilda's 4. So it's just this scene that's quite far below you at the stage, but it's very wholesome. It's very loving. You can see that Hilda embraces Oro with just a lot of love and affection, and then she kind of releases her again. She just looks, it's like you've grown already. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. And she just squeezes you again, and she's absolutely fussing over you to a huge extent. Like, she'll release you and then she'll just like check your cheeks, and she'll see that you've put some makeup, and she'll be like, "Oh no, I won't touch that, I'm sorry." And then she'll just fuss with your hair a little bit to just see how it's growing and stuff, and she'll just be like, "Oh, give me a spin." Have you brought Nugget?
If Nugget can fit in the tent, then yes.
You know that the tent is large enough on the inside and will fit through the doorway. Yeah.
Okay. Then
Take up a reasonable amount of space, but yeah, okay. So Nugget comes to the door and she goes, "Yeah." Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of like she clearly hasn't paid attention to the rest of you at all until this moment, and she just kind of says, "Yes, no, come on in." And she backs up, holding onto Oro's hand, and just kind of gently and not forcefully kind of directs Oro, just like, come with me. I want you close to me all the time. Circus turns are really tired since this one is, at least. And she pulls you in. And she embraces you once again. She's just like, oh, it feels like it's been much longer than it has been. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just forgive this old woman for just doddering. I just missed you. I just missed you so much.
I missed you too.
Please come on, come in. Take a seat. And she has prepared a meal. It appears from where you are, it doesn't look anything like she's got any kind of like help, as it were. You can see that there is a stove in the corner, and there are kind of these bowls. It looks like she's made a stew to begin with, but you can see that there are multiple sets of cutlery. So it looks like you're going to be in for a bit of a meal. Though whether or not you guys have had meals that have had multiple courses before is down to you. But she brings you all in and she sits you down, and your meals are placed before you, your stews. And she just says, "Oh, I'm so excited to meet all of you. Oro, I need to hear every adventure. I need to hear every detail, and I need them yesterday.
You're
I
right.
asked you to write when you left.
I have
my
been.
letters been?
I have been writing. I just didn't know how to get them to you. You know, the postal service here isn't great.
It is awful. Yes, no, okay.
I didn't take any stamps, you know.
And I never really taught you any spells, did I?
No, you didn't.
No, okay. All right. Well, I'll put that down to myself then. I didn't. I should have given you the envelopes and the stamps. I'm sorry. And she just kind of embraces you by the cheek again. She's like, "Oh, look at you! Oh, if you, oh," and she sees, like, for example, like, say you've got like a wound that's still healing from, you know, magical means. In my head canon, magic will heal wounds completely, but for the more significant wounds, it will leave scars. So I'm imagining in this situation, you just have a cut that hasn't fully healed yet on your cheek, and she's just like, "Oh no, what happened to you? You okay? Oh no, no.
I'm fine. Just another adventure, you know.
Adventuring life is so dangerous."
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But you've been successful.
Yeah. I look around and it's like kind of
this is your crew.
Yeah, crew.
Your party.
Crew party. Yeah.
Crew party.
Crew party.
Party crew.
Well, tell me all about yourselves. You sir, you look something. What's tell me about yourself. Who are you?
Well, my name's Randall.
Randall.
Yes.
Randall what?
Randall Dundragon.
Randall Dundragon. Okay. I want to know all about you. What's your favorite color?
What's my favorite color? It's purple.
Purple. Everyone, start taking notes. All right, this is some serious fucking character development right now, because none of us are going to remember any of this.
Subject change.
Okay. So where did you grow up?
Oh, well, I grew up not too far from here, actually. Up in the hills in the north.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, what? Tell me about your upbringing. Were your parents kind, or?
Oh, they were fine parents, but I had not the best childhood, let's say. The middle child of two. So
it's always difficult being the middle child. You sweet thing.
My older brother is he's the heir to the farm.
Oh, you're a farmer.
Well, I'm not a farmer.
I see. Okay.
I left home to join a monastery.
A monastery.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Yes. There's nothing left at home for me, so I joined.
And to what was this monastery dedicated?
It's actually, I don't know how many people have really heard of this, but we collect stories.
Stories.
Yeah,
Does this
so
monastery have a name?
it's the Liber Amans.
The what
The
now?
Liber Amans.
The Liber Amans.
It's Latin for something that was clever when I wrote it. I forgot what it means.
I'm guessing Library of the People based on my limited knowledge of Latin.
Or Library of People, if it's about
I think it's
stories.
like book something or pen something.
Blah.
But yeah, we collect
Ah,
stories and folklore and record them for the
fascinating.
future, for prosperity.
And what made you leave your monastery?
Well, you see, the stories don't come to us, so while there
You
are
must
many,
collect them.
yeah, so while there are many fascinating stories at the monastery already, then to get new ones, we have to go out and find them. And apparently, I'm now creating my own.
Oh, that is fascinating. What a twist. You should have, will you have tales written about you?
Well, I don't know. One cannot know such things. It's up to others if I am noteworthy enough.
Now tell me. And she leans over and she whispers, are you writing stories about these two?
Well, I mean, we'll just have to find out, won't we?
Very exciting. Very exciting. Okay. And so you're a monk.
Yeah.
So are monks usually adventurers?
It's not very common path, no, because many monks are quite solitary.
Interesting. Oh, fascinating person you are. Absolutely. Oh, I'll have to check your leaves later. Interesting. Interesting. And you, my sweet. And she kind of moves over to Neroli instead. Who are you?
Neroli.
No. Who are you?
Who is she?
Who is she?
I don't know how to answer that question.
Tell me, what makes you you?
My mind, I guess.
Fascinating. Interesting. Oh, my head is spinning. Tell me, where did you come from?
I grew up in the mountains. Not far from here, actually. The Stormhorn Mountains.
Ah, nobody lives there.
Yeah, it's not like a city or anything. Just some people.
Some people, interesting. Some people who chose to live in one of the most dangerous places in Cormier.
Well, they're very capable.
And capable of what?
Like hunting and...
But who were they?
some people.
She looks not frustrated, but she purses for a certain moment. She feels like you're hiding something from her, and she doesn't like it. And she turns to Oro and she says, "This one, she's a mystery. She's an enigma. I can tell. Like, oh, so you." She turns back to Neroli and she says, "So you, Neroli who? Neroli the adventurer? Neroli the girl from the mountains?
Both of those things.
But what are you?"
A person. Just seeing the world, I guess.
Well, you are all dictated by fate. I tell you here today, we all have fates. We all have fates. And that is my ability. I peer into the fates. That is how I make my money. That's how I make my fortunes. That is how I live my life. and it is one of the reasons that I've asked you here today. However, we will discuss this tomorrow. I'm just very excited to meet all of you. And she kind of she moves over to Oro once again. She like pushes your hand towards the food. Eat up, come on.
Okay.
Come on, dear. She's occasionally just like glancing at you and hoping that you're eating. Realizes she hasn't really eaten very much. She's had a couple of mouthfuls, but really she's not really touched her food at all. She's clearly much more invested in you guys eating and having a good time than she is in feeding herself at all. She says, then forcing you to talk constantly. She is trying to kind of just absolutely pull all of the information out of you that she possibly can. She's asking you the most inane questions that you can possibly think of. And for Oro, this isn't something that you even thought of as being something that is unusual. Like you've had this in your life since forever. But because you've been, she's been around for your upbringing, you're used to all this. And it's not like she bombards you with questions, like 100 questions at a time, because she's asked you all those questions over 16 years.
18? Yeah.
18 years. And she's just constantly asking you questions, just, little by little. So it's been surprising to you that she's just sat here, just like grilling your friends. But she's kind of just sat here, just absolutely trying to get every single bit of information out of you possible. And it seems like it's just from genuine interest. And most of the questions are directed at the two of you. But she's fussing over Oro the whole time. But it seems like that you guys are the ones that she's interested in hearing about. But obviously that's, she knows who Oro is already.
I think if she keeps asking general questions at some point, I'll just kind of like express that I need more specific questions to understand what she means when she asks things like that.
She's being very vague, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then she'll for a moment she'll say, I'm sorry, my head gets a flutter sometimes, and there's just so much about you. And we need to sometimes reflect on who we are as people, not just where we came from, not just who our family are, because sometimes that doesn't matter. You see that she looks at Oro there, and she grabs Oro's hand, just like in a gentle embrace for a moment. Sometimes that doesn't matter because you can choose your family, and you can forget your place of birth. But it's very important who you think you are and how you treat those around you and what you do with that, what you are capable of doing. That power within you, each and every one of us, how you apply it. That is what makes you you. Do you see? How do you apply yourself, Nurali? How do you apply yourself? What do you seek to achieve with what within you?
I guess I'm usually trying to do something good.
That is
or
good.
helpful.
Then you are good and helpful. Tomorrow, I would like you all to come back for another meal. But for now, I would like for you to focus, because tomorrow is my birthday. You see she's like glowing with happiness at the idea of it. I'm so happy so many people have come just to celebrate.
Of course.
I can see why they would. You're very pleasant.
Oh, thank you very much. You're very sweet, dear. I can't believe you came back for me, Oro. I'm so happy.
Of course.
Dropping your high adventuring lifestyle, all this success you must have found, all these riches, just to see me.
You're always more important.
Oh, you.
You.
Okay. So you have, an hour or so of kind of these intense questions, but they're all very, they're quite bizarre, but also some of them are either oddly vague and just super general about your person as a character, and some of them are insanely specific on things that you just wouldn't think about answering to anybody. like she randomly starts asking you like what your favorite tea is and stuff like that. And at the end of the night, you've had some stew, and then a main meal comes out, which is this kind of bizarre bunch of different meats and vegetables packed within this Yorkshire pudding, which I realize now may not be a perfect word example to use for people who in chat who might not know what Yorkshire puddings are. Toad in a hole. Do they have toad in a hole America shit?
Is that like bread with for me, toad in the hole is like bread with egg cooked in the middle.
Wow.
Not the same thing apparently.
Wow, I didn't realize that was a thing. I didn't realize that there was a whole other version of toad in the hole that sounds gross. No, I'm kidding.
It's like you put it on a griddle and it's like a fried egg inside the bread, where like you take like a cup and you cut out a circle from the middle of the bread and you like put butter on the outside. Yeah, that's why I said the toad in the hole.
That's not what we call toad in the hole.
Oh, okay.
So do you know what a Yorkshire pudding is?
I've heard that word before.
Okay, so it's like a batter thing that you put with like a roast dinner. But you can also make a toad in the hole where you take the same like batter mix and then you put sausages in it and you end up with like sausages in the batter mix.
Why do I feel like Yorkshire pudding is just cornbread?
It's not.
I'm gonna Google it. Oh, by the way, I tried to translate what you put in there and I had to take the Z out and put an S in, and then it translated to balance from the C. But I don't know.
The Latin thing is it's book lover.
Oh.
It doesn't have a Z on the end. It's it's spelled
okay.
I'm probably just saying it very wrong.
The dinner was just Akinator.
It's a common English side dish. A baked pudding made from batter consisting of eggs, flour, and milk or water.
Yeah, it's like crispy on the outside and like soft in the middle and very airy. You
and
typically put it with like a roast dinner if you're just having it.
Last time we played, we were talking about different types of bacon.
Mm-hmm. You can put bacon on the sausages for a toad in the hole. It's extra good. Top tip right there.
Anyway, so your meal comes to an end, and you feel.
I want to ask some questions.
You want to ask questions? Yes.
No, well, maybe not questions, but like I want to bitch about that bloke who didn't give us a reduced price.
Yeah. Very important.
Mm-hmm.
And say that Neroli wanted a reading, and we got a reading from that shit circus. Well, not shit. She won't say shit circus. The other circus who gave her a shit reading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Okay. And she will say, "I cannot believe that he treated you like that.
Mm-hmm.
He knows you're my favorite."
I know. That's what I said. It's really surprising he didn't enjoy that.
I try to cultivate a certain type of environment. This is what happens.
I know. Listen, he's an asshole. Okay.
We will find you your merchandise. Okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely. On the house. For certain. And you want a reading?
Well, I don't want to make you work during dinner.
Yes, no, it would be an inconvenience. But please, what is it you want read? What questions do you have?
They just had a tarot deck, and I was just going to see what came up.
I see. I read many kinds of fates. I divine all sorts. Unfortunately, I cannot always be so specific or so vague. We will have this conversation tomorrow after the show.
Thank you.
Does that suit you?
Yes.
Excellent. Very well. Is there anything else?
I think so.
Very well, then please retreat to your abodes once you have finished your meals. I need to prepare and I will see you tomorrow for the show. I'm very excited to see you perform, Oro. I've missed you. Right. So you guys finish your meals in
Tasty.
mostly the company of yourselves. For a moment, she near the end, she wants to be a good host, but she's realizing the hour's getting late and she does have to prepare for the show tomorrow. So she takes a step away, and you can see that she's kind of she has in the far corner of the tent this large kind of altar sort of thing. It doesn't look like it's dedicated to any kind of god or anything like that, but you can see that there are many different types of herbs. You can see that there are dice there. You can see that there are bones, kind of like skulls of birds and things like that. And you can see that there are lots of different sprigs of kind of branches of different trees. There's a crystal ball there, though it seems like it's not super well used. And she's just kind of like, she's shuffling around, picking up incense and that kind of stuff. She's just going to and fro around her tent whilst you guys are kind of enjoying the rest of your meal. Brackets, DM gains time to come up with the reading. But anyway, you guys finish your meal, you return to your tents, and you prepare for sleep. Is there anything you guys want to do before you sleep?
Nothing special.
No.
Not for me.
Okay. All right. The day comes. It is time for our performances. Okay. So, in the morning, Oro, is there anything that you do to prepare for your performances?
She just jumps around and says Circus over. Time to go.
Jump around.
Time to go. Time to go.
Okay. So there is kind of an area that's cordoned off at the back of this kind of the home tent area that is practice. And in the past, that's where you would be expected to be with Vince right now, kind of practicing a little bit before. So do you think you would go do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So in this case, you have left your party. Do you want to explain to your party in RP that that's what you're doing?
Yeah. Guys, I'm gonna go to the practice tent and just go practice with Vince. All right, for the thing. You need me, I'll be in there.
Okay.
Do you need anything?
No. If you need anything, you come to me and ask.
If you guys aren't going to go see her before the show starts, there is a pre-show, and then the grand show itself. Oro will probably be busy preparing up until the very last second, so you probably won't see her again unless you specifically need to go chase her down and find something.
I want the full circus experience.
Fair.
Yeah, I
Is there
think I
a
would
circus?
just go to the show. Just let her do her thing.
Okie dokie. What do you want to do with Nugget during this time? The gentle sigh of having a giant bat follow you around.
Yeah.
We need to come up with a flowchart of like what Nugget's doing. It's like, does Nugget fit? Yes, Nugget's here.
Yeah.
No.
He can follow. No, he can't. Okay.
Is there a tree nearby? A tree.
Yeah.
So you go ahead.
I mean, if he can chill with me, then he can do that, I guess. Just keep an eye on him.
So you're aware of the circus itself has these big rafters and stuff in the upper levels that there's not another floor up there, but there's plenty of space. And the birds are all like the kenku are already up there, hanging out. It would be okay and possible for Nugget to sit up there and observe the show. But you probably have to do it sooner rather than later, because if the pre-show starts whilst you're practicing, it's going to be a bit dodgy for Nugget to get up there.
Could Nugget be part of the show?
Late. It's late to add to the thing.
It's a bit late to add the thing.
But think of the excitement.
That would be cool though.
Even if it was just you flying in on.
People might get a
How have you
little
stopped?
scared.
Nugget's not trained for this kind of environment.
True. Maybe at some point. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. Maybe next year.
Yeah,
Okay.
Nugget doesn't get scared in the face of things trying to kill him.
Well, when you see the circus act, you might understand.
Oh.
So the rest of you, I mean, Oro's going to practice now with Vince. Vince, much like he'll do, Oro! Squeezes her too tight, and then picks her up in one hand. Oro! The rest of you guys go off, and you've got the circus to explore again. Once more, the merchandise stalls are out, but you know that they are limited because now swarms of people are coming in their droves because they are all signed up to come and view the main stage. The main stage was kind of cordoned off to a certain degree yesterday, but now you can see that the seats are kind of this huge wooden structure with the seats that pile high and high, and there's this large center stage in front of it. You can see that the wooden boards have kind of been removed, so it's not so impossible to see. Now it's very clear. There are lots of signs saying, go here if you want to go to, you know, area B for your tickets, and here are seats 1 to 20 or whatever. Yeah, it's easy.
Do we have to roll to find our seats?
Seats. Fortunately, you have been given some tickets. As Francois approaches you and he says, "Hello, these are for you. I found these. These are from us, and most importantly from Ilda, to make sure that you have seats that are in the VIP area. You will be right behind me." He gestures, and you can kind of see as you go this footpath that leads into where the main circus stage is. You have all the merchandise and the droves of people behind you, and he kind of gestures down, and there's a pit that's kind of just in front of the stage, that you can see. There's a gap between the seating and the stage proper, where there might be stagehands or you know, whatever's going on down there. And you have an area that's like right up close, so you can observe all of the detail. And you can see that just in front of it there is a booth that you might have expected a pit for like musicians to be, like a band orchestra pit, yeah. But you can see that there are various wands laid out. And some of which resemble the ones that you saw from the merchandise store. And Francois says, "I have heard you have a special request," and he grabs one of the wands from the merchandise store, and you can see that the gentleman behind it is very grumpy about this matter, but he just takes it off, and there's nothing he can do about it, and he just hands it to you. "Here, I did not realize I had such a fan."
Thank you. Yes, I thought it would be quite useful, and it's very dashing looking.
Let's have a look.
She tried to describe it in a way she heard other people talk about things being really cool.
Okay, so I'll skip beyond you having to attune to it and finding out what it actually does. I have rolled. You have 3 charges of using the cantrip minor illusion.
And then it's like just done.
It
okay.
just becomes shit.
Okay.
I rolled quite poorly. I'm sorry for that. But
it was okay.
It was free.
If I had rolled, I would have rolled poorly too.
That's fine. Right. Is there anything you guys want to do? Do you want to take your seats and just get ready, or you want to go?
Are there snacks available?
There are snacks. Yes. Once
popcorn.
again, the goblin popcorn is available. Yeah.
Yep. I want 2 buckets.
2 buckets. Oh my goodness. Rattle. Rattle. Okay, well, you grab your snacks and you sit down in your VIP seats, preparing for the show. I think now's a really good time to have a bio break.
Yes.
And refill beverages. If anyone wants a beverage. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aye,
Okay.
Captain.
Be right back.
Ooh.
Go for a bit of a
Go
try.
for a bit of a try.
Go for a bit of a try.
Go on, try. You could try.
Hello? I'm all on my own. Katie's expression when blocking the camera is the expression you make when you are being forced to smother someone and you're sorry, but you have no choice. It's for the greater good. Adam, how many times has that happened to you? How many times have you looked at that expression on yourself as you're doing it that you've been like, I'm resigned to this choice. I apologize. Oh, look, it's Jenny. There's Jenny.
Hi.
Oh,
Oh.
was my una beverage.
Ooh.
Delicious.
God damn it.
We're going for strawberry and lime today.
Woo.
Woohoo!
Kate's expression. When you smother someone, you're sorry, but you have no choice. What the fuck, Adam? What?
I asked him how many times he's done that.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I see. God damn. I literally have so much blush on my face right now. And it looks good. It looks just normal on the camera, but if I look in real life, I'm like, whoa, Jesus. Oh god.
Same. All this blush on my face. All of this makes me very annoyed.
Where's your beanie?
I don't know.
Really?
Oh yeah, I don't know where it's gone. But also last time I said, oh, maybe it's time for beanie, everyone was like, no! Don't bring the beanie back.
The beanie might be better now though. The beanie might be better now. There's a lot of bees there.
The beanie might be better because it's this long.
Well, just, you know.
Or because of just my face is aged.
Aged.
I've got a bit of a beard going on.
I got a beard.
I get it. Switch up my look, you know. I've genuinely no idea where it's gone, unfortunately.
Shit.
I'm missing out on my beanie. Saving me from my lockdown hair.
Maybe you need
Can
a
this
cap.
coronavirus stuff be over already? I'd like to be able to do stuff. You know?
Yeah.
It's inconvenient.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty inconvenient. It's the word.
It's been taken for the greater good. I think it might have been taken for the greater good because people didn't want me wearing beanies anymore. All right, I'm done with this. It's in the bin.
That's just harsh.
For the greater good.
Greater good.
The greater good. The greater good. Over the night,
yeah.
Nirali has obviously she's done the identifying of the arrows.
Oh yeah.
So I can tell you what those are.
Use yours.
Oh, tell us.
Those are.
Use yours.
Oh shit! I clicked one thing. Can we get some Jermaine Clement singing as David Bowie about Tom during intermission? Song was stuck in my head for days. I love it. So happy.
Everybody likes Tom. Even your mom. And David Bowie.
And David Bowie. Oh, I still had some drink left. I'm stupid. My old drink has some drink left.
Oh.
He is the bomb. Everybody likes Tom. Damn it. I've gone like a day without that in my head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, so I'll read you the things since Katie's there. They are arrows of dragon slaying.
Wow. Okay.
An arrow of slaying is a magic weapon meant to slay a particular kind of creature. Some are more focused than others. For example, there are both arrows of dragon slaying and arrows of blue dragon slaying. If a creature belonging to the type, race, or group associated with an arrow slaying takes damage from the arrow, the creature must make a DC 17 Constitution saving throw, taking an extra 6d10 piercing damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. Once an arrow of slaying deals its extra damage to a creature, it becomes a non-magical arrow.
Oh.
So you have 5 arrows of dragon slaying.
Okay. Sick. Could you send me the description of that maybe later?
Yes.
Maybe later. Thank you.
Feel sorry for the next dragon we come across.
Oh,
Which
he's
perhaps implies the upcoming presence of a dragon. Perhaps.
or perhaps not, and it's just a.
It's a haha, take this and they'll never be used. Does a dragonborn count?
I think no, it does not. Thankfully, I'm laying enough breadcrumbs around that are all like, oh, nothing's gonna happen here. What? What's that? No one can
At
use
the
a
end, they'll all come
halberd.
together. They'll all come together at the end. Into
I wrote a
Our
description
minds
for
will be blown.
the halberd, and nobody ever fucking attuned to it. No one gives a shit.
I couldn't have used the halberd, could I?
You're too small.
Too
I
small.
think.
You're ickle.
I can't remember why I didn't want to use it. There was a reason.
Oh, something like you can't use your flurry of blows or something with it, or like you can't use your unarmed
Maybe.
attack, maybe.
Or was
did
it
you
my-
want-
It might have been like my patient defense or something I couldn't do with it. Or whatever my defense thing is.
Either way, it's cool. You weren't a Kenzai yet.
It could have
Yeah.
been that. But I remember like deciding not to pick halberd as my Kenzai thing. But maybe that was a mistake. Oh yeah, I wouldn't have proficiency, so I definitely couldn't use it.
Is that why you don't? Oh, you don't have a proficiency. Okay.
And then I forgot probably when I picked my Kenzai thing.
Break the halberd's handle in half. Suddenly, it's useful. Suddenly, Oro can use it. Do we want to say that you used your fancy talisman to read the story of the magical item?
Yes, always.
Okay. Hi, Maddie.
That's a weird start to the story.
These were crafted by the elves of Myth Drenor, sat in an arsenal that was left untouched for hundreds of years, gathering dust. They were liberated by some lucky adventurers that snuck through the ancient elven city whilst it was unoccupied, but immediately lost. The arrows were immediately lost when those adventurers' luck changed, and they were flattened by an avalanche that was ironically caused by the bellowing roar of a dragon.
Oh, that is ironic.
My favorite part is that they were left in an arsenal, not used for hundreds of years, and then they were put as a reward, left in a box and gathering dust for however long.
These poor arrows. Need to live the life that they deserve.
Yep.
Killing something.
Get to fulfill
Being
their
shot at
purpose.
dragons.
Yeah. One
But if they hit things that aren't dragons, they're useless.
Mm.
Or they're normal arrows. But so I'm not gonna force you to count arrows and stuff for normal arrows, but for those arrows you do have to
Yeah,
count them.
that makes the sense.
Super important question. What's the pink fluffy plushie on your bed, and is it holding flags?
Is it holding flags?
It looks like it's holding something.
It's a sloth. It's a pink
Oh.
sloth that I got when we went to Comic-Con once.
Oh, he's a cutie pie.
adorable.
Wait, did I get this from Comic-Con? I don't remember, something like that.
I don't think I've seen him before.
It's a pink sloth, and I have a bat.
Oh, that is cool. Wow.
Oh, now he's. I was looking at you. No flags though, unfortunately. I apologise.
Oh, I don't like it looking at me.
Fine.
I-
Oh yeah,
Just like-
the bat's a good choice. Put the bat there. Yeah.
Oh shit, no, that'd be the wrong way though.
we did the arrows.
Oh, what are they?
They are arrows of dragon slaying.
Oof.
Wow.
Hope you get to hold on to
Wow.
those for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, they work against baby dragons.
That's what you want us to do, and then the big dragon will appear and be like, oh,
Oh shit.
What a
Only
waste.
like 60, 10 damage, so you just use one to instantly murder like a bunch of tiny little baby dragons, and then
Suspiciously
then the
5
mama
baby
comes
dragons.
along.
Yeah. Suspiciously, exactly 5 baby dragons appear.
Mm.
And they get moided.
Moided.
Right.
Moided.
Okay. So you're at your seats, and there's a pre-show.
So you eat popcorn.
Yeah.
Oh,
What this hand is like one black box, and this the other.
Oh, you didn't even get the other box for Nerdy? I thought one would be for Nerdy, one for you.
No, he
my
wanted 2
God.
boxes.
Outrageous. Jesus Christ.
I don't think I would eat the goblin popcorn because it would weird me out to eat food that looks like my friend.
I'm not sure Randall's even noticed that it's actually goblin shaped.
Okay. So Randall doesn't share food. So there is a pre-show. The pre-show is the first show that comes up is that there are 8 warlocks that dictate the rules of fashion. That is what that's how they are announced. It appears to you that Francois has quite an important role in what he does. Okay, Francois seems to do a lot of he seems to have put whatever spell slots he's got into all of kinds of varying illusion, pomp and grandeur kind of stuff. So for the pre-show, it seems mostly quite limited. It's kind of just warming up the crowd whilst people are still coming in. And you can see there's a lot of mostly he seems to be, you can hear his voice like a kind of a booming Francois voice around the stage that is kind of introducing people. He says, the first act we have today as our pre-show is the 8 warlocks that dictate the rules of fashion. And everyone's around the hall, they're getting scattering around the floor. It's quite, it's loud considering, but as you're looking around the crowd, you see that some people are still finding their seats. There are still some rows that don't have people in yet because they haven't been let in. But there are many seats in here. It looks like what's essentially happened is that you're in the VIP pit, as it were. But there are rows that are very close. Seats are very close together, and they are tiered. And the tiers don't seem to have that much room between them. So it's hundreds of people and hundreds of people packed into this tent around this stage. The pre-show with the warlocks appears to mostly be that there is a catwalk that runs down the center of the stage, and they have these very grandiose chairs that are sat like thrones on top of it, and they are all of equal heights, with different kind of varying color schemes. But you can see they're all kind of wearing the same black long robe. You can see that the color scheme of their chair matches the kind of like edges of the robes and stuff. You can see that it kind of runs around the side of it. And people will walk along the stage and they'll just go, fashion, not fashion, as people walk across down this catwalk. And it's just mostly just people feeling bad about themselves and occasionally being told that they have good fashion sense. Second up, we have a pre-show comedian who comes up here. And it's clearly a local talent that's been pulled in. It's not A-star content. A couple of the jokes get a couple of chuckles out of you. Unfortunately, I didn't prepare any previous to this, but I'm gonna give you my jokes. The two jokes that I know.
Ooh.
The 2 jokes that all of you have probably heard multiple times now because they are the only jokes that I know. Shit, one of them doesn't make sense. One of them doesn't make sense in a fantasy setting. First one is, what does a policeman say to his belly button? You're under a vest.
That's such a cracker joke.
And the next one is, bunch of thieves in a bank. They hear the front door going and police noises, because they can't be sirens, police noises.
Police noises.
It sounds like, serve the flaming fist. And they've shown up. They've been rumbled. But there are some bags near them. So they jump in the bags to hide. The guard come up and they kick the first bag, and the thief in the bag goes, meow. So the guard are like, it must be a bag of cats. They come up to the second bag and they kick the bag and it goes, woof. It must be a bag of dogs. They go up to the third thief, they kick the bag and it goes, potatoes! Because it's a bag of potatoes.
Oh, Jesus. Everyone leaves. Everyone leaves.
Yeah. Excellent.
Jesus.
I'm mostly laughing at just how much that bombed.
I thought that I didn't get the joke at first. I was like, oh no, this is some UK joke I don't get. And I waited for their reaction and I was like, wait, no, I don't think it is actually.
No. It's a bag of potatoes. The thief says potato.
Yeah. I think everyone understands the premise.
No, I get
That's what the comic does on stage. He's laughing so much at his own
He's laughing his
joke.
ass off. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. The third of the pre-shows is a little bit of smattering of music from some local musicians who come up on stage. I think
Musicians.
the one cider I had made that joke really funny.
He says swinging more cider.
Well, now I need to make myself feel bad about everyone else. No one finding that joke funny.
Jokes are
Listen.
difficult, you know.
There are two jokes that I know, and both of them are hilarious.
I only know one joke.
Empirically.
What joke do you know? What other jokes does the comedian say?
Well, it won't make sense in D&D, but I'll say it anyway.
No.
What are Mario's overalls made out of? Denim. That's the only joke I know. Denim. Because my brother told me it, and I was like, "That's it. That's the best joke. That's all I need to know."
Pinnacle joke.
That is excellent. Okay. If anyone else has any jokes that you want the comedian to say, please contribute in chat. Save
Where
me
does
from
a
my.
general keep his armies?
in his sleeveys.
Up his sleeveys.
Oh, it's sleepies.
It was a bag of potatoes.
Did that stop the sound that potatoes make? Doesn't make sense.
Right. Okay. Anyway, so there are some local musicians that come out and kind of continue to just make the crowd merry whilst everyone's finding their seats. Finally, the crowd goes quiet as the lights dim, and you hear Francois's voice over the booming voice that is disembodied for some reason. And now, the show will begin. So please take your seats and be prepared. Happy birthday, Hilda. We are here and we love you. A round of applause, please, for our first act, the Fire Jugglers. You see that there is an incredible show that starts off with just like 20 people juggling torches. And it kind of like one of those things where they like pull people from the crowd who stand in the front and they're just like, ah! As fire is being juggled around them. Oh, I want this to be here. I don't want to be here. And at one point, the people from the VIP booth are brought up, and Randall is kind of gestured to, and he's like, "Oh!" These people on the stage are come up like, "Come on up here! Woo! You're coming up onto the stage." Does Randall go?
I guess.
It
Or
does.
he like puts his two things of popcorn like down.
And you are juggled around. Essentially, it's one of those things that is very impressive for the first 5 minutes, but it goes on for 20 minutes. So for the first 5 minutes,
Wow.
you're like blown away by how incredibly like talented these people are and how skilled they must be to be able to do all these tricks without dropping any of the torches. It was all like perfect across the entire thing. But then after the first 5 minutes, you're kind of like, all right,
Oh, like
This is just
fireworks.
this is just like like fireworks. It doesn't.
Fireworks should last no longer than like 2 minutes.
No, exactly.
You've never
and then
got
after
to
that,
set off your own fireworks, and it shows.
oh,
They
cool
just do what they accidentally did in London that time, where they set all the fireworks off at the same time. Perfect show. You got the delay wrong, and instead of like seconds between them, it was milliseconds between them. Just like all went up at once.
I love it.
But it was incredible, and then it was over, and that's what I need for my fireworks.
I like fireworks, but they do tend to go on for a little bit, and then you've also got that bit at the end where everyone's just hundreds and hundreds of people are packed into the same place, slowly ambling, all trying to bump into each other to get out, and that is the worst part. Anyway.
See, when you grow up in the country, you can set them off in your driveway, and that's fun because you do it yourself.
Well, when I was in Texas, I saw people in the middle of the street setting off fireworks.
Yep. Yeah.
Just literally in the middle of the road, like, yep, this is where we do fireworks.
This is our fireworks place.
The
it was
pavement
the
won't
4th
catch
of
on
July.
fire, but the grass might.
Smart. There you go. You might hit grass, but you might also hit cars.
Then you get the hose.
I think it's also illegal in Austin to set off fireworks in the city.
Yeah, of course it is in the city, but man, people do it anyway.
Anyways,
How are they gonna know who it was? Anyway.
you have your fire jugglers. Immediately afterwards, somewhat to the dismay of the people who are still on the stage, you have axe throwers who are juggling axes, which is what the fire jugglers kind of transfer into. You have dagger throwing, some of these smaller acts that are up here that are from different circuses where people are being spun around as volunteers on these the kind of like the things where the people are attached to them and they like spin around as daggers are being thrown at them. Some tightrope walking where people are on these huge, very high ropes and walking along it with sticks, and then somehow there's another person that jumps on their back and they're on their shoulders and they're also juggling. Oh my god! And then there's another 2 people behind them, and then they've got a stick that lies like between the 2 pairs, and then there's someone stood on top of the stick and they're also holding a stick. It's fucking crazy.
Black magic.
That's pretty amazing. And immediately after that, we have this wonderful musical number that I'm definitely not going to do anything for, which is just very entertaining, and you're all very impressed by it.
I'm very impressed by it.
Immediately after this huge musical number, we have the amazing Alan the Giant Frog. Alan the Giant Frog waddles up onto the stage, and you can see that he looks content. He looks happy, and the music goes from this. First off, you have this like daring, like, oh my gosh, everything's so amazing. These people are throwing fire and daggers and axes around. Whoa, it's so incredible. Whoa, it's so tense. And then it goes on to this huge musical number that's like, oh, we're at the circus. Circus is really great. Wow, I love the circus. Oh my god. And then it gets to just bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, 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 bum, as Alan just bum, boom, boom. Alan just kind of flops onto the stage. And he comes up and he boom, 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 boom. And Francois just says, and now we have Alan. And there's this massive frog on the stage. He's absolutely huge. He's the size of a house. And you're just there like, what the fuck is this frog going to do that's going to be impressive? And what happens is Alan, over the next 10 minutes, starts to unravel his tongue, revealing a circus performer that is dressed as a clown. And he just keeps, just absolutely loads of them. For the next 20 clowns in total are hidden inside Alan. He just folds out his tongue, and there's another clown on the end of it.
House, like, 20
I'm sorry, is that not impressive?
Well, 20 people in a house doesn't sound very impressive.
It's a frog, it's not a car. All right?
What circus is this from?
Wow, there's a TARDIS frog. No, it's just a huge frog with clowns in. It's not about packing things in. It's about it being a huge frog with clowns in. And then
what circus are they from? What colors are they wearing?
This is from the Herb Browning's one.
Okay.
So afterwards, they start using his tongue as a trampoline. And he's bouncing these guys around. And then he starts to like grab them out of the air with his tongue and then spit them out. and shoot them around. They've got like trampolines around the stage, and they're like bouncing around all these trampolines. It's like you're juggling people, and it's all very, very impressive.
Very impressive. Very
There's a
cool.
better stand-up routine than a bag of potato.
A bag of potatoes. So there's only one potato in the bag.
One big potato.
Right. Anyway, yes, there is one more act before Oro comes on, and it is Francois himself. Francois comes up, and he's got his amazing robe and the huge round of Francois, and he kind of stands. You can see that he's kind of come out of the floor. Like you can see the stage is lifted to a certain degree, so they've got this this under the stage area, and he kind of comes up on a platform that comes up. And he's like doing a pose, and there's like fireworks come out of this one. There's like doves come out of it. There's like lights and shit everywhere, and he's like really, really over the top, just like shooting all this kind of very easy, essentially prestidigitation level magic. But at the same time, we've got fireworks that are coming off near the crowd. And it seems to be all going super duper well. But at one point, one of his wands just kind of fizzles out. And he's just like, And he gets another wand. And it's all out. He gets one more wand in both hands. So he's got 2 wands in each hand. Okay. He gets his entire hand just filled with wands through the fingers. He goes. What happens is the circus tent itself appears to kind of transform into the face of this dragon directly above you. As it does so, it kind of comes alive. The cloth itself becomes the body of the dragon, and it starts to swoop around the stage. As it does so, it starts to open its gaping maw and release magical like lights across the whole of the crowd, looking like it's pouring like molten flame across the people that you can see. As it does so, you know that like fireworks are going off at the same time, so it's very warm down in the pit, especially. You can kind of feel the sparks and stuff, and the heat kind of going washing over you. And it looks like it just opens up its mouth and starts to consume the entirety of the crowd. And you can see that as it goes down, its lower jaw looks like it's breaking into the wood and into the chairs. And you can see behind it, as it goes, the wood starts to like break and contort, and you can't see the people anymore as the dragon starts to swoop around, and then it starts to come back up. And you can see that essentially Francois is in this magical fight with the dragon, and he starts to tame it. And as he does so, it turns into a small kind of like little bird that he puts onto his shoulder, and then he just like waits for a round of applause, takes a bow, and then sinks back down into the pit below. And obviously you can see that after the illusion is worn off, the people who looked like they had been consumed and the chairs that looked like they'd been destroyed were completely fine. So it's understandable why Francois' merchandise is so popular. But finally we have Oro and Vince, who come to the stage. How many of the peasants have to change their breeches?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh no, and this is where it all goes wrong, and then we have to fight a dragon. Interesting. You could probably tell by the look on my face.
Yeah, I saw at one point you were like, do these people look actually dead?
Yes. Like it really like stands up a little bit and is like, wait, okay.
So on the stage, after a couple of moments, the lights kind of dim and it fades to black. And just because of like, the fact that you're in a tent and it's a kind of a blackout tent in that none of the sunlight from the outside is allowed in. So I've been very careful with being able to control what it is that you can see. And it all kind of like poof, lights go out after Francois is gone. And once the lights come on, you can see there is a small flame flickering in the center of the stage. In the center of the stage, you can see Oro sat. The stage itself looks like a forest. It appears that when the stage has lowered itself and turned, there have been loads of kind of like wooden trees that have been placed around, cardboard cutout kind of things. And you can see that Oro is sat there cooking on a spit at this small little fire. The smell of the smoke starts to fill the circus tent, and you can hear that there is some soft string music playing gently as she focuses on preparing her meal. As the sun sets, this light in the background starts to kind of fade in from the blackness of absolutely nothing into this kind of dark orange and red glow you can see as a setting sun that starts to go back into darkness. The music stops being this gentle string kind of playful melody and starts to be a bit more dark. There is a huge silhouette that appears in front of the sun with the menacing eyes that appear on the horizon. A shadow is cast over Oro, who looks up, scared for an instant, then determined. And there is a car in the background, ignore that. Vince, seeing his meal in front of him, throws a rock at Oro, which skids across the stage. His shadow casts his arm way above his head, and the rock soars through the air, true to course. Oro waits as she watches the arm rise and then ducks out of the way an instant before the rock crashes into the ground, exploding into dust that rains on the VIP booth. There is just rock dust all over you before it kind of fades away into presentation. Rocks. Vince then bursts onto the stage proper, and you can see that he is kind of clad in a lot more stereotypical hill giant clothing than you saw him previously, and you can see that he is kind of just looking angry, and he's looking ready for a fight. He bursts onto the stage, kicking wildly at Oro. It sends the campfire itself flying. Bursts of flames are released from the stage over the crowd, and the smoke is shot into the sky. Embers fall down again once onto the stage and onto the crowd around you. Oro ducks and skids behind Vince's legs. She trips and falls and lands on her back. Vince doesn't let up and stomps forward, slamming his fist down in an attempt to crush Oro. He throws his full weight into a punch just short of her that smashes into the floorboards of the stage and sends splinters up into the air. The force of this blow launches Oro into the air, and Vince uses the momentum to catch her with a backhand that launches her across the stage. Oro bounces off of a rock as she is in mid-flight, flipping dramatically through the air, and lands, seemingly wounded, under a beam of the fading sunlight at the base of a tree. The music gets morose. Vince laughs, a deep maniacal laugh. Vince steps over to Oro, pushing aside the prop trees and crushing her pitched tent. When he leans on the tree above her, it creaks, and he picks her up by the leg with his other hand. Oro stays limp as he lifts her to drop her into his mouth. But as she drops, she animates, kicking off of his face. In the air, she flips, righting herself. Vince grabs at his face and cries out, "Boo!" Oro slides down his arm and climbs up his back, bonking him on the head. He slaps his hands back to hit her and pulls her off. In her hand, Oro bites his finger hard. Vince throws his arms to the side and his head up, releasing a shout of pain, letting go of Oro. She runs up his arm towards him, does a front flip over his head, and vaults off of his other arm, backflipping off of him. As she does so, she reveals a vest of long daggers on her chest. Using both hands, she throws 3 daggers that embed themselves in Vince. Once again, he shouts in pain, and the lighting of the room flashes in a bright red. Vince slams out, grabbing a tree trunk and tearing it in half, so he has 2. He throws the first one, which Oro jumps over. The second one that he prepares to use as a club. Oro dashes under his arm and throws all of her strength at his leg, knocking him off balance and pushing him to the ground. I would like everybody to make perception checks, please.
Perfect time to Jenny to mime. I was like, should I mime this? That'll make it worse. It's way cooler when Tom just says it.
19.
Okey-doke. 15. We got from Oro. Oro gets advantage on this one.
22.
22. Okay. You will hear a noise, which seems out of place. As we have this situation where Vince is being pushed to the ground, he slides towards the crowd with tremendous momentum. It looks as if he's going to hit those in the stands and those in the pit. The stage seems to elongate itself. It pushes itself out and allows for more room to ensure that the people in the front row aren't actually hit by Vince, by some kind of miracle of machinery. Fireworks explode once again as it appears that he has pushed through what little remains of the fire that was on the floor, and it kind of spreads ashes and embers across the crowd. Oro, you prepare for the finale of the act, which is you standing on top of Vince, looking triumphant after this incredible acrobatic display. And you stand on top of him and you pose. As you do this, you expect a round of applause. Usually there's a couple of beats before it happens. But what actually happens is that you are whacked as Vince slams you off of the top of him. You are cast aside and you take 6 points of damage as you are cast off of him and you slam into a piece of the scenery that is keeping the stage from the people, as it were, the audience. Those of you who are in the crowd notice with your perception rolls that Oro looks visibly injured. This does not appear to be on course. None of the other acts that have happened so far, none of the things that have happened so far with Oro's being, playfully damaged or whatever, look like it's actually caused any damage. But you can see that now she is bleeding.
How far away from me is she?
She's on the stage, which is about 30 foot away from you.
If this looks wrong to me, like she's actually hurt, then I'm definitely going to stand up and use my meta magic to remote. What do I have? Distance spell. If it has a range of touch, then I can spend 1 sorcery point to make the range 30 feet. Mm-hmm. That's exactly how far away she is.
Sure.
So I just I stand up and whip out my wand.
Okay.
and cast Cure Wounds
okay.
At a level 1.
Okay, so you do so, and thankfully, because of the explosions and the just the glamour of the whole situation, it's not suitably audible for you to have been noticed by anybody that you've stood up and cast a spell.
Okay.
Francois, directly in front of you in this pit for Francois, turns to you, and the music in the room fades for an instant. It appears like he was concentrating on it, and he's the one that's keeping this going together. And he turns to you and he looks, and you can hear a voice in your head that says, "Something is wrong. Help. Make it look like an act." And he drops it, and he turns back, and the music starts to swell again, and it sounds like he's kind of controlling the atmosphere. You can see that there are lights being cast, and it looks like kind of a mist starts to fall across the stage. That looks like perhaps he's trying to just kind of make it a bit more vague, a little bit harder to see what's going on, so the audience doesn't realize what's happening. What I'd like for you to do is to roll initiative. And you can drag and drop your tokens onto the circus tent here if you like.
Okay. And me? Do I need to do it?
Yes, please.
Does Nugget need to do it?
That's down to you.
I want to know what Nugget did during that. If he sees Oro being like attacked.
Nugget is in the rafters, but is trying to. 1 second. Why can't I? There we go. Stay put.
All
now.
3 of us rolled
Oh,
crit
what?
fails on
I
our
blame
initiative.
you. I blame everyone but me.
What?
What? We're both failing. Both
What
of you
is
failed,
the-
so I had to fail.
What is the probability of that?
Not good.
Oh, jeez.
We are truly surprised. all
Wow,
of
that
us.
is genuinely terrible. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it's a 3, 4, 3. That's a 9 for Nugget.
Yeah.
I wondered why you rolled twice. I was like, okay,
1 in 8,000.
8,000.
1 in 8,000. Not terrible odds.
Wow. Okay. So we're going to start at the top of the turn order. Currently, we have on the stage Oro and we have Vince. Oro, you've just been whapped at what you thought was the end of your performance. Something is definitely 100% not right with your friend, Vince. Under no circumstances in any situation has he ever shown anything other than kindness and professionalism towards you in performances like this. This has never, ever happened. It is incredibly uncharacteristic of him. Okay?
Mhm.
It is his turn. So you have been knocked aside and are currently standing back up. He pushes himself off from using both of his hands because he was previously on the floor, and he launches both of his arms back and he roars in a voice that you do not recognize. He throws himself across the stage using all of his weight, and you can see that he's not even looking like he's using his body correctly. And he just slams both of his hands down on you in an attempt to just crush you. He hits, and what he does is he lands on your lower half, crushing you into the wood of the stage below, which breaks and crumbles underneath you. You take
1,000,000 points of
You dead, bitch. You dead.
You take 1 broken pelvis worth of damage.
15 points of damage. This is, if it wasn't already clear, a wake-up call where you're like, oh fucking no, what the shit's happening, Jesus Christ. And after that, we have Oro under Vince on stage with the crowd applauding. The crowd's amazed because it's so realistic.
Look,
And
there's
as you
blood
have
spurts
known
and everything.
from your conversations with Francois yesterday and from what he's just said now, he has intimated to you that it is insanely rude to interrupt people's performances and to remove the illusion from the crowd, which is why they want you to make it as much of a performance as possible. He hasn't necessarily said anything along the lines of don't get on the stage, but he has suggested, like, if you're gonna, you get the implication that if you're gonna go on stage and do stuff, make it look like you're part of an act, like make it impressive, sort of thing. Don't stand up there and be like, ah shit, fuck, what do I do? Like, act it up, okay? Oro reaches a hand out. Hey, big guy, sun's getting real low. Excellent. Okay. Nugget is up first. What does Nugget do?
I mean, I assume Nugget would freak the fuck out.
So the Nugget's never seen Oro in this performance ever. So Nugget doesn't understand what's happening really. Okay, tell me what you can we assume that maybe as a ritual, if you don't want to use the spell slot, spoke to Nugget before this and told them what to expect. Yeah. What would you have told Nugget?
I probably would have described the routine.
Okay.
As it usually goes. And been like, hey, listen, this is how it usually is. This'll happen, this'll happen, this'll happen. It's cool. Don't worry about me.
Right. So he's expecting that.
Yeah.
This has happened, and he knows that that's not what you told him.
Mm-hmm.
What's Nugget's intelligence?
His intelligence is -4. So
okay, so you oh dear. You play this how you want to play this, okay? Is he gonna think, oh, this is still part of the act because he's really dumb, or is he gonna think, fuck, I'm gonna get in there, oh my god, help her immediately, and not be very good at making it look like an act? Which do you think Nugget would more likely do? What's in his character?
I mean, I feel like if Nugget saw that Oro was actually hurt, that's when Nugget would be like, shit, this isn't good.
Sure.
And then Nugget starts drooling nervously. All of the crowd drenched in Nugget.
Shakes the head.
I mean, what I want Nugget to do is to come and swoop down and try and pick me up.
Okay.
Nugget's gonna have no idea how to make it look like an act.
Sure.
But
I mean, Nugget's pretty, acrobatic. That's pretty cool in the first place.
Yeah. But maybe just to pick me up and just to see what happens next and what is supposed to go on. I don't know. Maybe he's just confused about it.
Sure. Okay. Well, the tent is huge, but Nugget's got a metric shit ton of movement, so that's not going to be an issue for Nugget whilst flying. So Nugget can absolutely swoop down and grab you off of the floor as he sees you, under this huge giant who has crushed you into the ground. He gets close and he can see your like almost mangled legs, which are still fully functional because D&D. Grabs you in his legs and just flaps up. Because of the amount of movement that takes from resting to where you are and how big this tent is, he's not going to be able to take you very far off the ground, taking maybe 10 feet. Yeah. Bearing in mind that hill giants are tall AF, you're still definitely, for now, within range. It immediately goes around to your turn.
Oh, okay. Oh, I am next. Okay.
Convenient for once.
I want to try and talk to Vince, and I want to try and maybe like communicate with him.
Sure.
So
all eyes in the crowd are on you right now.
Yeah, in like a subtle way, like maybe in the past we've come up with like words that mean certain things within the act, like you fucked up or I fucked up or something like that. So I'll try and be like, what's going on? Like, what's happening?
Okay. We're using kind of like body language.
Yeah.
Or just like, okay. So you kind of use whatever lingo / body language that you've come up with to try and communicate. Give me an insight check. Or a perception check, whichever your preference is. Is there a map? Nope, no map. You get this weird looking circus tent.
17.
Okay. You are looking him in the eyes and there is no recognition there.
Because I heard that whoop noise or whatever.
What was it? How did it sound?
Whoop.
It looks like in his neck is a dart.
Okay. I want to... Can I also talk to Nugget in the same in the same thing.
Yeah, why not?
I want to tell Nugget to take me to his neck.
Okay.
To fly me
Okay.
to the neck.
Okay, cool. Right, so because of the perception checks and all this kind of stuff, that's going to be your actions, and your movement's tied to Nuggets now because you're on Nuggets, or not in Nuggets. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, all right. So, on your turn, whilst you're in the clutches of Nugget, who's mid-swoop trying to get the fuck away, right, for now. And next time you want him to kind of swoop around and go towards the neck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any kind of like what kind of circusy shit can you do to be like, haha, look, this is a show. What kind of pizzazz can you put in? Oh.
that is all.
I love the idea that like your performance is so meticulously planned that the second that you're off course, you're just like
boop 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 boop. Sign.
Everything's okay.
Potatoes. Start stealing things from other people's acts.
Yeah. Fashion.
Right. Randall.
So we're in the VIP bit.
You're in the VIP pit,
then,
which is directly in front of you by about 10 feet is the kind of magician's pit. And then immediately, because that's immediately attached to the stage. So
okay.
you are 15 feet from the stage edge, 30 feet from Oro. From Oro was where Vince is.
Assuming there's like some kind of barrier, like maybe like a barrier between.
It's raised. So the barrier between there's maybe 10 foot worth of space between most of the other seats and the stage.
Yeah.
But you aren't most of the other seats. You're VIP.
But what about like between us and where Francis is, Francois?
Oh, there's about
like a little.
Yeah, there's a small raised barrier, but you can get over that relatively easily.
Yeah. Well, because I want to like jump up out of my seat, and like popcorn. Obviously goes flying
everywhere. So much popcorn. So much dramatic
popcorn.
Popcorn.
Not that much because we're at the end of the show. Most of it's gone. A little bit of popcorn goes everywhere.
Okay.
And then I want to like do a flip onto the onto the railing, and then over the magician's table and onto the stage.
Okay. Right.
To do like a hands.
So when you land on the stage, what do you do?
When I land on the stage,
I
do like a cool pose, obviously.
Okay, excellent. That's what I want. When someone introduces themselves to the stage, like in theater and stuff, they don't just like walk on. They're like, they're like, ba-bam! I'm here to save the day.
Well, it's like popcorn goes everywhere. It's like, look over here, everybody, and then cool flips and like a cool landing.
Flips. Okay, I'm gonna take an acrobatics check, please.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
But are you though?
I am, yeah.
Scrooge McDuck dive into a popcorn bucket. Beautiful.
I'm going to give you my D6.
I don't have it on this scene.
Okay.
Can I give you my look?
I'm gonna give you the +1 as a rule of cool because you were 1 away from succeeding on a relatively high thing. You described it in a cool enough way to get that extra +1, I think. I think that's fair. Rule of cool it. So, okay, you completely successfully managed to flip your way out of your pit, across the magician's kind of table desk area, and onto stage, where you turn and pose. What kind of pose are we doing?
Well, I think because it'll be like flipping around and landing. It'll be like head down, probably staff in front.
Superhero landing style.
Cool.
Oh man, that's cool. So you got staff with you, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's how you land. Okay.
And then
what?
Well, from there I need to get over to Vince. So like, how far is that?
So across the stage, that is 15 feet.
Okay.
To Vince.
So I want to like probably kind of like run over there, but maybe like a stage run where you're not like running full speed.
Sure.
To give a bit more time, and then just be like doing like swinging the core staff around in cool ways.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Switching between hands and like spinning it around and stuff.
I love it. I love it. This is excellent. Okay, so because of all the flips, because you're taking extra time to make sure that it doesn't look like you're straight up sprinting, that's going to be a dash action where essentially you're taking your extra time to not only do cool shit, but also get there in a way that seems realistic, quote unquote. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, but I think I can then hit them.
Okay.
Because when you dash, you can take a bonus action to make one melee attack with charger.
Okay.
As long as I went 10 feet in a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna. I don't particularly want to like try and super hurt Vince, but I want to like get his attention away from Oro. So I'm gonna go for like a lower leg hit or something, and just be like, "Bonk, I'm here. Look at me."
Bonk. Okay. So what we're going to do in this situation is, if at any point you decide that you want to attack Vince, you can tell me if you want it to be genuine damage or if you're trying to go for a knockout sort of situation.
Yeah.
But additionally, at any point you can say this hits. This is a real attack. Okay. So you can make attacks, like stage attacks, where you definitely hit, but it doesn't do any damage. Or you can do real attacks where it is a normal attack.
Okay.
The free attacks are definitely hit for realsies. They're a free action. I'm not going to cost you anything for those.
Okay, well, I'm not going to try and actually hurt Vince in the moment. I just want to like grab his attention.
Okay, so in which case you do definitely hit him. I'm not going to take any rolls from you.
Okay.
That's just what you do. Okay.
Does that still count for my thingy defense though?
No. I don't know what that is. Oh, what for being attacked? Yeah, no, that doesn't attack because that's not a real attack. It's a.
Oh, but that is an attack.
That does not count. I'm sorry, but no.
God damn it.
Okay. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No.
No. Okay. Neurally.
Okay. So is there actually like a pit? So there like there's a depression in the ground that I could fall into if I tried to like jump off like Randall did?
So you're in a pit. There's a raised piece of ground between you and the next pit, which is where the magicians are. It's just Francois, really. And then there's a raised platform onto the stage directly after those things.
Okay. Are there like stairs that I can run up, or
there are not stairs between you and the stage because you're not expected to go in that area.
Okay. How high is the like? I'm not nearly as acrobatic. So how high?
It's about waist height. It's not super high, but because your seats are supposed to, they're kind of like slightly leant back so you can have a look up at the stage whilst you're sitting. It's about waist height.
Kawaifu, remember there's never a wrong time to use fireball. Oh god, on the wooden stage. So I think that I'm going to kind of panic, but like keep, like I'm trying to keep it cool, but I'm definitely like, something's wrong. I don't understand what's happening. Is this part of it? Were we supposed to be part of it all along? Like I'm really confused.
Why did no one tell me?
Why didn't anyone tell me what's happening? But I'm worried that that's not the case and that something is wrong. And so I think that like desire to like protect is going to kind of like override my like caution, I guess, or whatever. And so I'm going to like do my best to kind of like stand up to where I can like maybe like from the back of my chair try to like take a step up and like jump up there. And as that happens, the wings are going to come out and I'm actually going to fly up and just kind of like I'm walking, but it's like bounding as the wings are flying.
Okay, so my question for that is hopefully to just illuminate a little bit more what you mean in this situation relative to your character. You are nearly gets up thinking, okay, I can use this seat as leverage to make this jump easier.
Yeah, and I have to get there because she's in danger.
This is where I need to be. Just go.
Yeah, and it's just
And-
like, please make this jump.
Yeah, and she goes to the jump, and as she goes to the jump, it works.
Mm-hmm.
Is she conscious of the wings? Does she make the decision to use the wings, or do they just come as part of the unconscious desire to get from here to there?
It's that panic, that need to like
Right.
to save Oro, basically.
Okay.
It's not like an active thought that really happens.
Mhm.
It's more like I've got to get over there, and I've got to help, and I'm not going to be able to do this in a way
Sure.
that they're going to like, so I'm going to try as best as I can to make this look
Just kind of like
good.
a faith-bound sort of thing that
Yeah.
just turns into this is
Exactly.
working surprisingly well.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't believe I made that.
So when you arrive on stage, having succeeded, you arrive and you are this glowing fucking winged beauty that has arrived. In what fashion do you arrive on stage?
So I am thinking of it in my mind. It's kind of like a moonwalk almost, where there was like the jump, and really what it is like
rather than
really
like
kind of
rather
like
than flying,
flying.
you just
Yeah, it's more like bounding, and you're like
Yeah.
like leaping really high into the air. So it's like one
Sure.
big jump to get out of the pit, one big jump to go over the next pit, one big jump to go
Sure.
up onto the stage, like my 30 feet. And as I land, like the eyes turn like silvery, and I've got the wand out.
Mhm.
I say, I'll save you, Oro.
Okay. If you'd like to have any kind of like stage voice for that to be very loud, then we can arrange that so that everyone in the audience also hears, I'll save you, Oro.
Yeah, she's going to try to like
Make it stagey.
project. Yeah,
Sure.
exactly. That's why it kind of looked
Yeah.
awkward and like very, yeah.
Okay. So essentially Francois is in the pit trying fucking just hectically to ensure, so it appears that his role, it seems to be some kind of like keeping the environment flowing so everything looks cool and atmospheric. So he's muffling sounds that are clearly not supposed to be heard, like, you know, the scuffing of feet on the floor and stuff, but maybe able to determine that someone needs something to be said. So you kind of like, you look at Francois and kind of like, I'm doing stuff, and he goes, okay. He kind of like lifts the volume on you, and you go, I'll save you, Oro, and then he like dumbs it down again, and everyone's like, oh Jesus, he's like he's like just like spin in place. He's got so many things on it. He's oh my God, oh Jesus, oh God, trying to make sure everything's going right. So you land, you are on stage, and you look glorious as you do so. Is there anything else that you can do with your turn?
That is my action. So that is all that I can do this turn.
Okie dokie. Right. Vince, after having slammed down on Oro, tries to backslap to whap her out of the air. As he does so, he rolls an 18 versus AC.
I think my AC is like 15. Yeah, 15.
Okay. Okie doke. He hits for 11 points of damage as he slaps you out of the hands. I'll tell you what, I would say strength saving throw to say that you aren't whacked out of Oro's out of the grasp of Nugget.
Okay.
Save to not be whapped.
Luck.
Oh,
Oh, I do have luck. Fuck my life. Jesus, yes.
now's the time. You didn't have luck that time.
Oh my God. Okay, I have luck. Can I do it twice? I can't do it twice, can I? Can I do it twice? No.
You can't reroll.
Wait, I have my +6. I have my +6. Can I use my +6?
But it's only going to get you to 9.
Yeah, it's still
I still
critical.
Yeah, but at least it won't be a crit fail.
Oh, Jenny. Oh, Jenny.
I'm on 2 points of health, by the way.
Okay.
Tasty.
Good to know you are whacked out of the clutches of Nugget. It looks incredibly dramatic. If this was faked, oh my God, if this is a real performance, Jesus Christ.
What a show.
Unfortunately, what a show. So Vince, after slamming you down into the ground, sees this giant bat come down, pick you up, and lift you into the air. You're still within his reach because he is a giant. So in his rage, he just turns around, whaps you with the back of his hand. And as he does so, you cascade out of Nugget's grasp and slam into the ground. Fortunately, I say fortunately, I should probably roll this. Taking 1 point of damage. That could have been really bad. You land on the floorboards and you skid once again. Because we are in performance mode, will give you the opportunity to make a dexterity saving throw to dictate how you land.
Okay.
So if you take... okay, you could do whatever the fuck you want.
Ask to heal.
I'll attempt to do a flip, but maybe like roll my ankle at the end. So it's like everyone else looks really cool, but everyone near me knows that I just went whoop and like rolled my ankle in the last second.
So you're whapped out of the clutches of Nugget, and you are already spinning because of just the sheer force of that hit. But you manage to control the spin as you're falling, and because of that, you manage to correct yourself as you land. And it looks really cool until Nurli, who is watching you, sees you go, oh no. And your face goes from, okay, determined, I did that, to, just
Yeah.
a split second. Is that okay?
Yeah. I want to, if I see that Nurli and Randall on the stage, I want to like point to my neck and like point at Vince, like off, like, so if the stage is like facing this way,
Right.
so I like point at my neck and point at Vince and like,
as in like the darts here sort of thing.
his bit, yeah, that's what's happening.
Okay. That is down to you guys whether or not you interpret that correctly or whatever. Nugget and Oro. Nugget is in the air and has just lost you.
Because like I am you now. I mean,
She has the best cuddles. She's just like, I'm here now. Deal with it.
Oh,
what a way to be hugged. This is what I want to do to people.
Am I muted?
No, you're not muted.
Okay, good. I mute myself a lot, so I'm like, I don't even know if they're gonna be able to hear me now.
This is it.
This is it. That's how I do.
Okay, Nugget. I mean, this is what I want Nugget to do, but I know Nugget's an idiot with low intelligence. So even if I told Nugget, go to the neck after Nugget picked me up, then without him carrying me, then Nugget might be like, do I go to the neck? Or do you want me to go to the neck still? Do you want me to get you? I don't know. I can tell you what.
Would Nugget do what you told him to do, or would he care for you first?
Oh, he would care for me first.
I said that without knowing what your plan was. I don't know if I fucked up your plan now. I'm sorry.
No,
he would care for
he
me
would
first.
care for me.
Stupid
Fuck.
fucking bat.
God damn it. Okay, well, I would want Nugget to come and save me then, but maybe try and like flap around in Vince's face to kind of like try and like be like not like hit his face, but like deter his like visuals and like make him a little bit confused maybe. And then to try and like swoop and pick me up maybe. And maybe I could go on Nugget's back. Maybe.
Okay. So for you to get the way I think of it is, if you want to be picked up by Nugget, that's a Nugget thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to mount Nugget, that's a you thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what I think the idea is Nugget goes down into the front of Vince and uses the help action to essentially give advantage to whoever attacks it next. Then
Mm.
uses the rest of Nugget's move to get to you, and then on your turn you can get on Nugget.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
Because of that, in range of an opportunity attack.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, Nugget is or I am?
Nugget is.
Okay, it's fine.
You're fine. You're fine. You're on the other side of the stage.
Okay.
18 versus armor class.
Nuggets is 15, the same as mine, I believe.
It's, 17 points of damage.
That's fine. Nugget has more than 1 hit points, so that's fine.
Did
You
Nugget
say-
get a level into the life domain? We have already discussed this. Nugget is a dragon.
Secretly.
You say 17, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, I did that. Okay.
Okay, so it now rolls around to Oro's turn. Nugget has arrived after being punched by Vince, who has pushed Nugget towards you, who has managed to scramble and get to a position, kind of skids across the stage, accidentally dramatic, poses like, I'm going to fuck you up, Vince, but does so in a way that's easy for you to get on its back.
Okay.
It comes to your turn, and
Do that. Get on
Do that.
Nugget back.
okay, you're on Nugget's back.
Mhm.
What do you want to do that's dramatic but helps?
Maybe I could do some kind of cool flip onto Nugget's back, maybe.
Love it. Love it. I'm going to do that.
Oh,
Ask you for an acrobatics check, but I will give you advantage because you are the circus performer here.
Okay. 16.
Excellent. Absolutely what you do. You flip up. Bam. Right into a nice seated position. Easy.
Easy. Easy game.
You're just there with just like blood pouring out. You
Yeah.
like bruised half
Ready
of
for
your body.
death.
But there you are. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
GG, easy.
So because of your stage attire,
Mhm.
you have on you a very different kind of equipment than you would usually have. You don't have your adventuring equipment on you.
Mhm.
You have a bunch of dud daggers, essentially. You have 3 dud long daggers that you already threw. And you've got 3 more dud long daggers that you can also throw. That's
Mhm.
what's on you right now.
Yeah. I don't think I would do anything. I think I would just try and tell Nugget to fly away and that I'm hurt. Get me out of it.
Also, circus breeches, yeah. You got huge pockets. Amazing pockets, honestly.
They've just got
Everyone's
popcorn in them. They don't even have anything useful to buy. Damn it.
Okay, so you successfully imparted advantage on whoever makes the next attack, and you've got on top of Nugget, so you're ready to get yourself to safety. Randall, you've just seen your friend get fucking walloped across the stage, and you can tell that she's very hurt. But you know that you've got something to deal with right now.
Yeah, I do.
What do you?
So my walking
But
staff,
I apologize for interrupting. But how did Randall perceive the whole neck thing?
that's what I'm about to ask. Because
Okay. Mhm,
so I've got my walking staff.
Yep.
That makes me unusually good at miming.
Yes.
Does it also make me unusually good at interpreting other people's mimes?
Yes, it does.
So I get
You are
just-
insanely good at that.
So I immediately like see Oro do that, and I'm like, neck,
Fucking love that.
Vince,
That's excellent.
something in
nonsense.
something Vince's neck, and I look up and like that wasn't there before.
Fucking random thought. Inspiration for Docs if he doesn't already have one. That is
No,
so
he
good.
does not.
That was clever. That was clever. Well done.
Genius.
And then I want to continue to use that, and I want to look around. Is there like a big? I assume there's like a big entrance door somewhere.
There's
Or
no
exit.
one big entrance door. There is one that's slightly larger than the other ones, but for the most part, they're kind of small corridors that have
Right.
people
Is there
funneled through.
one that a giant could leave by?
Yeah, well, there's the back entrance where they
That'll do.
that leads towards kind of the back of the circus area that you could use.
But it's out of like off the stage, basically.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna attempt to mime very efficiently. Like we should try and drag him off stage. Like
Everyone immediately understands what you're
That
talking
way.
about, including the crowd.
God damn it.
But that's fine. Like if it's part of the act, like let's go
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
Everybody understands. In fact, you should have your own act. Everyone's like, wow, this mime is incredible.
But only while I'm holding this. And then I'm gonna hit Vince, but I'm gonna try and hit him for real, like in the leg. For reasons. Let's just do a one-handed. I don't need to do a two-handed attack. That's the wrong button.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Or did it just like roll over?
No, it is the wrong button. It should be one more than that.
Oh, it's the other old quarterstaff.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Should be fine.
You hit.
Okay. And I do some bludgeoning damage.
Okie dokie.
And then I want to just like, so I want to try and like have it, so it's like I hit him, and then as part of like the hit, I like back off, like I'm like kiting him, kind of like I'm like hitting him and like backing off. But when I back off, I'm backing off towards the door.
Sure,
it's
you're
like-
like, come this way.
Yeah, I'm like, but to make it like part of the act, I'm like trying to dodge out of the way of his strike by jumping backwards.
I see. Okay. So you're telegraphing your movement, so it's obvious to people who are looking. Okay. And you can't be attacked by opportunity attacks, can you? So
Which is why I hit him.
how far back are you moving?
Maybe just like 15 feet. I don't want to go like miles because he might not come after me.
So 15 feet is pretty much the other end of the stage for him.
Okay.
So he will. You're still within attention range.
Yeah.
Anything else on your turn?
Nope.
Okie dokie. Nearly. You have arrived. Radiant glory.
So now Oro is on Nugget's back, and they're on the other side of the stage still.
Well, so you are on the front of the stage. You've just arrived. On the far left of this circle, you've got Vince, who's just whapped Oro. Oro is now on the other side, on your right, who is now kind of just on top of Nugget, looking injured. And on the opposite side of the circle is Randall, who is drawing the attention away.
Are you up
So
in the
pretty
air
much
again?
you're perfectly in the sides.
In the middle, yeah.
She's not in the air yet.
Not in the air yet.
That's a Nugget thing, not an Oro thing.
And how far away?
You are perfectly 15 feet from everybody.
15 feet
Everyone
from
everyone is exactly 15 feet from everybody else right now.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll just kind of like run, but like bound over to Oro, and I'll put my hand on her, and there's like this silvery energy that like pours out of me into her, and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds, but I'm gonna do it at a 3rd level.
Oh, the big guns.
So it's like it's supercharged, and you can tell.
Mhm.
24.
You kind of illuminate the stage much more than you would
Yeah.
usually do from casting any kind of spell, even more than you were so already. And
Yeah.
it pours from you and flows into Oro, kind of almost illuminating her for an instant as well. You notice, as you arrive at Oro's side, it occurs to you that all of her weapons are duds right now.
That's true. What do I have? I have daggers. I do. How many do I have? I have 2. And so from within the robe, if I could, as like a bonus action,
Whilst you're casting your spell.
yeah, produce 2 very plain and ordinary daggers, unfortunately, but they're probably like, reflecting light or something, so they look shiny.
I mean, if you do it as part of your spell, you're kind of bequeathing these holy relics to her, essentially.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah. So it looks really cool. But
Mhm.
Oro, you can look at them and you're like, You know,
Better than
I mean,
done.
they
Or in the
ain't
mill.
Gucci.
Gucci. They ain't Gucci, but they pointy. So
Okay.
yeah. So
Okay, cool.
yeah, because it's a touch spell, so I don't need like my wand or anything for that. So yeah. Oh, sorry, kitty. Just like bestow them onto you.
It's like you're an angel who's arrived upon the scene to give her better weaponry in order to defeat her nemesis.
Yeah, there we go.
Excellent. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okie dokie. We now have Vince, who is still seething with rage for some reason, and storms across the circle towards Randall, who has successfully drawn the attention of him. He grabs both of his arms like this and just as a cross tries to whap you. Because I love that word, whap.
Such a whack
So
boy.
good. With both hands at the same time, trying to just hit you. You realize now that as other people have been hit, they've been hit into the side of the stage, and it's been fine. But you're already at the edge of the stage now. So you're curious as to where you'll end up when you're hit for 24 versus AC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I rolled badly. Give me a strength saving throw.
Yep.
Well, you are not hit far, but you are hit for 12 points of damage as he successfully backhands again. He's really into his backhands at the moment.
You don't want to damage the the
slaps
front
you.
hands. Yeah.
Gonna have to name this new move the Vince slap.
Okie dokie. We don't know. What we don't know is that Vince is simply angry because the Starbucks barista misspelled his name and messed it up.
Oh, God.
And that's his turn. Nugget and Oro, you have been bestowed, how much is that, 24 points of health and some incredibly cool looking normal daggers.
Hell yeah.
Daggers.
I want Oro to do some kind of like she's been revived type of thing.
Okay, yeah.
Like she just like with two daggers in her hands.
Yeah.
And then I want Nugget to fly up towards Vince's head. I don't know how. I don't know if he can. Nugget can get
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
And I want to go towards the dart.
Yep.
And I want to.
So you can see it. It's larger than the average dart, as you might imagine. It looks like it's got some kind of, as you see it, you can see that it's kind of transparent almost, like it's had something in it, and it's like kind of been syringed, as it were, into him, and it's run out. It's spent, as it were. But you think you could still take it out with him if you wanted.
I want to. Shit. I want to fly around and try and grab the syringe as I'm like going past it, type of thing, and then fly back down to try and still direct the attention to Randall. So
Okay,
I've like
all right.
gone around and then.
So he's currently on the far end of the stage, fighting Randall. Randall is, please don't punch me into oblivion. Just doing his work to draw the attention away. You want to fly up behind him. Fly behind him. Grab the thing out of his neck, right?
Just like that.
And then kind of just do like a cool maneuver that involves getting back at, look who this is, as you fly past. Okay, cool. So I will say very easily, you can definitely 100% do that. What I will take from you is a low DC strength check, please. Not a strength saving throw, a strength check to see if you can pull it out of his neck.
Okay.
Does she not get advantage because as you got all the weight of Nugget pulling, so you just have to grab it.
That's true.
Nugget going by will
That's a
basically
great answer, but clearly that's not necessary because you got 18. As you're going, you're holding onto the back of Nugget, but you duck down and you perfectly time your grab to yank it out of Vince's neck as he is engaged with Randall. You swoop around to redirect the attention away from you, but once again towards Randall. Excellent. Anything else you want to do?
Well, we're still trying to. I mean, Oro doesn't know what the fuck is happening, but understood from Randall that he wants us to leave the stage, which is fair.
Yeah. And you understood that perfectly because of his amazing miming
surprisingly perfectly. It should really be a part of the circus and is missing out. I don't know what else Oro could do. Maybe I'll. I don't know.
I mean, you've already had a pretty cool dramatic turn.
Yeah.
If there's nothing else that you can think of, that's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Randall. You've taken some whap damage.
I have taken a whap.
But otherwise.
Well, I mean, I think Randall's plan is to just keep trying to do this and shuffling off towards the door.
Okay, so there is this giant pair of curtains, just amount of curtains behind the back of the stage that lines up perfectly with the edge of the stage.
Okay.
Whilst you are in mostly a circle, as the stage is, at the back of the circle, it kind of merges into what you assume is some other backstage area. You're pretty sure you could draw him off into there, or in some fashion kick him into it.
Okay, could I stand like right on the edge and then be ready so that when he lunges at me, so he's like going forwards, I like swivel out of the way and like knock into his knee or something, so he like falls off the back of the stage.
So why don't you ready a parry? Just do a parry action, and say that if he doesn't hit you, i.e. he rolls below your armor class, you successfully swing him around and give him a nudge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I use a bonus action?
Sure. What would you like to do?
I'd like to clutch my talisman and use my healing dice.
Yes, you can definitely do that. Okay. Nerdy.
So I'm a bit torn because I feel like this is supposed to be Oro's act, but also I don't want to take the attention away from her and put it on Randall, but I'm really worried about this situation. So I visibly hesitate for a moment, but I see that Oro has like swooped away, and so I'm going to.
I mean, Oro's still kind of in the vicinity of Vince, but on a bat doing a cool aerial maneuver right now.
Yeah.
So she's not like engaged with him and they've gone like, bye, see you later. I'm 50 foot away. She's still kind of close.
Yeah, but it was obviously not like staying in the front. Like she said, she wanted to keep the attention on Randall. So I'm going to cast Enlarge on Randall.
Okay.
And that does a lot of things. You are one class size larger. So I think he's the same size as Vince now.
That changes the performance quite drastically.
Yeah. And since we've already kind of like established that like I don't think I'm intentionally trying to be like radiant or angelic or anything, but I saw like what Oro did, and so like taking up the sort of like
the role
like like cleric-y sort of like, here are these blessed things or whatever. I would say something like, here, take this gift or whatever. And so you're going to have your size doubles in all dimensions, your weight is multiplied by 8, you become a large creature, you have advantage on strength checks and saving throws, and your weapons grow to match it and do an additional d4 damage.
Nice.
And I'm going to move like 10 feet closer.
Okie dokie. Cool. Katie's a blessed gift.
No.
Damn right it is. Okay. Boop. We are now on to Vince, B-Dog, who makes an attack. You have your parry,
Yes.
which gives you, I've forgotten how much.
Oh, well, no, my thingy defense.
No, I mean your parry.
Oh,
I said
I
ready.
don't know.
So it's an action that you can do in combat.
I think he said he was going to make a strength check.
I don't know if the parry gives you bonus armor.
Oh, is parry a thing you can actually do?
Apparently,
Is parrying not a thing?
I didn't.
No,
think, I don't know,
parrying's
seen
not a
that.
thing. I think he readied an action. If he wants to trip him, he would be readying an action to trip.
Else I'm thinking of dodging.
But I think you could call this like a grapple.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to like trip him, so it'd just be opposed strength checks.
Yes. Oh yes. Do an opposed strength check against a giant.
Well, he has advantage now.
But
'cause
you're
he's-
now a giant too.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, go on, let's do that then. Let's do that then.
So I have advantage on the strength check, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm already relatively strong. Oh, that's a save. Bolt. You need to take 3 away from that. Probably doesn't matter based on the face you're making.
Haven't rolled it yet.
It's 3 less than that. 19.
You succeed.
Yeah.
So you do some cool ass judo move where he just goes, "Rah!" and he just throws himself at you, and you just kind of like grab his arm, turn yourself towards like his back, and just push him off. And into the backstage he disappears. The curtains kind of flail around a little bit before they land again in kind of a quiet breeze, and they become still. You are now on the stage, just you guys.
Okay.
What do you do? I mean,
Does he not come back out?
So that was his move, essentially, all of his stuff.
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
So you are, all three of you, currently on the stage, just you guys. What do you do?
Can I go off with him like dramatically?
Yeah, if you want to do that.
Yeah. So like as I like turn and throw him, I don't kind of let go, and I sort of like throw myself off as well.
Sure. Okay.
Through the
Right.
curtain.
So you go out with him as well. What about our next turn, which is our own Nugget?
And they're completely off stage. Can I?
They are off stage.
Okay.
You think if you could now contain him off stage, you could essentially be like, "This is the end of the performance," and then go backstage and then deal with the problem.
I kind of want to try and tell Francois to play some kind of like victory music, and then for Oro to for Nugget even to like fly across the crowd, like really close to the crowd, and then to just create some kind of like drama through there, and then maybe like land on the stage or something like that, and do some kind of cool pose and.
Okay.
Like,
Okay. What will Nerly want to do?
So I become very aware of the fact that I'm standing on stage in front of a lot of people and that I'm very bright. And so I think this is the moment where she kind of like looks around like slightly awkwardly, maybe not like awkwardly, but just kind of like with recognition, and notices like the wings for the first time. And like bows her head and kind of like runs away. But tries to be like not too panicky about it.
Sure. Okay. So Oro does her beautiful finesse kind of soaring around the crowd, getting nice and close but not too close, and then like the victory music starts to play, and you get a chance to pose on screen, and then the lights drop, and all you can hear now above the the sounds of the fireworks and the kind of music has died down is just just as the crowd just erupts in applause, and everybody is just screaming in delight and shouting and just you successfully managed to turn that from a disaster into an even cooler performance. And you did so without necessarily detracting away from Oro as the performer.
Performing? The person who's performed upon.
Before me.
That's a different service.
And you've pushed Vince into the other room to avoid an elongated fight that you win. The obstacle here, the encounter here was dealing with this problem in a way that made it look like a performance, which you did very well, and getting Vince either incapacitated or in some way away from the crowd in a way that seemed authentic, which you have successfully done. So the achievement is unlocked, the encounter is done, and what we would say is essentially you guys get him off stage, and thanks to Francois's controlling of the lights and the sound and the music and stuff, you guys have a bit of a tussle with Vince where essentially unless you want to tell me how you deal with it? I mean, I can say stuff, but why don't you tell me what you do?
Like, while I'm enlarged, I'd probably just be like trying to pin him on the floor until all these guys are done out the front.
Okay. So you guys finish out front and you come back to backstage and you can see that Vince is still very angry and very raged up.
Should we just knock him out? Should we just knock him out so he just does a little nap? A little tiny nap?
If it doesn't subside, that's what I'm thinking. Just like a whap on the back of the head.
Kind of bonk. Quick bonk. Someone bonk him.
Or like make him like chokehold him, make him just fall asleep. Like
choke. I'm not I can't do that. Ran.
Oh, he's big.
Yeah, well, I don't know how to do that.
You just gotta put pressure on the neck.
Everyone's just like, why the fuck did she know this?
It's very concerning.
but okay.
Oh, unless you know how to make it stop. Do you have anything to make him sleepy?
No.
I'm like looking around at like stage-hands and stuff.
Is there any sleepy potions nearby? Quick. A hot chocolate? Is there a hot chocolate nearby?
Emergency hot chocolate stat.
A warm blanket? Slippers?
Bedtime story.
It's a circus. You don't have alchemists here. Come on, you can make fireworks. You can't make melatonin. That was out of character.
So nothing immediate is around you. You decide to give him the quick bonk. And I don't mean sex like Adam does. Gross.
Gross.
Just
Not
a
in this
bonk
Christian D&D.
bonk slash sleeper hold sort of thing. You basically knock him unconscious.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess.
Okay, that's how you deal with it. So fortunately, he appears to tire very quickly just from your engagement. It appears that, whatever influence he was under wears off and he kind of zonks out. Pardon me. But so he's down and out thanks to you guys. You find that that whatever was put in his neck is kind of worn off with time. The night goes on, and you can hear there are more performances on the stage as you're dealing with this. But some other stagehands come back with you, and they are kind of just like tending to Vince and making sure he's okay, making sure you guys are all right, clearing up any wounds and any blood, and just being like, "What the fuck happened? Oh my god, that's completely against protocol. Like, that's not what happened. Is he okay?"
Oro is furious with whoever the fuck hit Vince and wants to find out immediately who the fuck did that.
So shortly after, a Kenku comes in, surrounded by, well, not surrounded by, in the company of two other Kenku, who drag in by the ankles the gentleman who was running the stall. Who is now on the floor unconscious.
Was it him?
And they just go, Him! Was it him?
Did you beat him up?
Up!
Okay. This is
And
terrible
they kinda
conversation.
they go over and and then you just some weird voice comes out. He's like, "Job done," and you just and it's just he just kind of out of his pocket pulls a blow dart sort of thing, and there are some other vials that are still full.
How do you know it was him?
Him.
Did you find those on him?
And then,
Did you
and then
see
they
him
make
do it?
the noise.
But
It's
did
remarkably similar.
Did you see him do it, or did you just find those on him?
Zah. Him.
Okay, inside check them.
Yes.
It's like, I feel like that's kind of hard to do.
You will be at his advantage because they are kenkus.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't even know whose voice they're using right now.
Are they using a liar's voice? That's
You've
the
got
question.
you've got a plus d6 as well. If you
I
wanna-
do have a plus D6, but it was a 7. You know what though? Like, yeah, I'm gonna use it because we're almost done for the day.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was 5 out of 10. Might as well.
Hey!
nice.
All right.
Very
As far as
cute.
you're aware, they seem to be legit. In fact, from your read of the situation with the Kenku in general, they seem to be more observant than the average bird.
It's true.
And something about them as an organization seems to you a bit odd, just as is. And the fact that, I mean, for some reason, the fact they drag in an unconscious guy and they seem like a crack squad of elite troopers or something as they do so. Something about it seems very bizarre to you, but it also doesn't seem unlikely.
Out of character, yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, are they trying to
for some reason
frame
this
him?
makes total sense to you.
Yeah.
Kenku
They were
Mafia.
watching
yeah.
everything. It stands to reason that they would have seen what happened. They were
I
just,
mean, there's a motive.
yeah.
Well, now I have a new motive, and I get my daggers out.
Just get my daggers out. You're just like, Jenny's waiting for you to stop her. I'm going to fucking kill him.
I will fucking
Stop
kill
my
him.
character.
Should we talk to the other circus leader?
I mean, I
How do-
guess that's a civil thing to do. Yeah, sure.
Surely this isn't just something you'd have. Like, I can understand being angry and like striking out, but doesn't it seem like pre-planned? They just happen to have vials of rage juice.
Make a history check. Or intelligence check.
Can I make one too? Because I'm a circus person. I would know what those things are and if they exist or not. If they don't exist, then
Sure.
I would know.
Okay. Right, Jenny. Love you. You can do whatever you want.
I mean, blow darts exist for sure, and they're like fairly commonly
So the
used.
reason I ask you is this, for both of you remember this, is that the other day when you were checking around the merchandise stalls, the what the fuck did I call them? God damn it. Her Browning's Humble Circus was selling potions. Potions of various kinds. Including a love potion, a levitation potion, a green potion, and a rage
Nice.
potion.
Oh, was there a rage potion in there?
There was a rage potion, but I said it very quickly.
Interesting.
Just to clarify, right?
Hmm.
This is what everybody voted on. Either
yeah.
performance was going to go absolutely swimmingly fine and nothing was going to happen, or this was going to happen. Because I wanted it to be like, I was like, well, you know, in an adventurer's life, shit seems to go wrong constantly, right? You've always got quests, and on the way to the quest, something happens, and then when you're in your downtime, something happens. There's no 5 minutes that you get without some crazy shit happening. So I was like, it might make me a better DM if I just let you have this performance and nothing goes wrong. But I was also like, having everyone on stage trying their best to make it look like a performance would be really cool. So I couldn't make my decision. I was like, okay, someone has to make this for me. It was like 70% to 30 or something of people saying that it should be the hectic and awesome thing. So hectic and awesome it was. There you go.
Good choice.
Yeah, I voted for hectic and awesome.
So, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to call the session here. But before we call the session here, if there's any resolving remarks or anything that you want to do before we call the game quits, please let me know now.
Or I would shout to call the leader of that circus.
Okay.
Hair brown thing.
Yeah, give me her brownings right now.
Speak to her brownings. Okay. Anything from Randall or Verily?
We should probably like tie his hands up or something.
Just in case he wakes up grumpy.
Yeah. Do I have rope? I'm gonna hand it to Randall if I do.
Do I have rope? How many questions do we have? How many times do you have to? Do I have rope? You always have rope.
Well, not
Every time we
always.
ask-
Sometimes we forget and leave the rope behind.
Sometimes
Well-
I've used the rope.
Yeah, and some packs don't come with rope. So
That's true.
so I just kind of like take the rope out of my pack and hand it to you, and I'm like, just in case he wakes up.
Okay, and like take that and tie his arms together, I guess.
Okie dokie.
Aura would like to speak to the other circus's manager. She's transformed. That's exactly what I was about to say because I crossed my arms and I was like, oh, it's Karen mode. That's it. Show me the manager right fucking now. I've had it.
Okay, well, next session we will deal with the fallout of this, and you'll have your meal with Hilda. Apparently, I need to figure out some kind of tarot reading for for Neurally.
If she does that, if she
Very
doesn't
happy
do
about
that,
that. I'm missing this school. Okay, right. Good game, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Hope you guys had a good one.
yeah.
That's good.
We'll call it quits there tonight. I figure we're playing again next week.
I think so.
Yeah.
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 Okey-dokey, cool. In which case, that's it. That's it. I assume you're streaming Animal Crossing afterwards?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. In which case, are you going to end the stream for continuity's sake, just on the VODs?
Yes, for VOD's sake.
Very well. In which case, everybody who is in chat, I will probably see you in a few moments when I'm also in chat. But for now, for the VOD's sake,
For VOD's sake.
goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, God sake.
Bye, VOD's sake.